Grown ups, in between, churning babies. Right about now, it's your boy, you heard, back again. DJ Manny, fresh, fresh, fresh. Yeah, fresh, fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, yeah. With Weezy Wee, step up to the mic, dude, and do what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is brought to you courtesy of the young man, Young Carter, and the great man, Manny Fresh. So what I want y'all out there to do for me is say this, say go DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
Say go DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
Say go DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
Say go DJ,
cause that's my
Heard of 101, the hottest nigga under the sun. I come from under the Tommy, bustin' the Tommy. You come from under your garment, your chest and your arm hit. Pow, one to the head. Now you know he did. Now you know I played like a pro in the game. Nah, better yet, a veteran, a Hall of Fame. I got that medicine, I'm better than all the names. A is Cash Money Records, man, a lawless gang. Put some water on the track, fresh for all this flame. Wear a helmet when you bang it, man, and guard your brain. Cause the flow is spasmodic, what they call insane. They ain't even my motherfucking aim. I get dope, boy. And you already know that pimpin' 18, I'm living young and show that Bentley. Stun on my paw, so you know that's in me. Got in my mentor, so don't go down with me. Oh, DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
Say go DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
This is the car. DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
say go DJ,
cause that's my
these niggas is hilarious. DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
this is the car. DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
Now put your binoculars
That's my
on.
DJ.
Try to see me. Let's go. And I move like the coupe through traffic. Rush hour GT bent, roof is absent. Your bitch present with the music blasting, and she keep asking how I shoot if it's plastic. I tell her you see if your boy run up. She sat back and cut the quarterback up for show. Hey Big Mike, they better step their authority up before they step to a sergeant, son. I got army guns. You niggas never harming young. Fly wizzy, my opponent's done. I'm done talking. And I ain't just begun. I've been running my city like Diddy, you chump. I fly by you in a foreign whip, on the throttle with a model bony bitch. Paraphony tits, her hair is long as shit, to her thong and shit. Well, here we go, so hold on to this. Now let's go. Hold on, let me hit the blunt again. So go. So go. This is the
Say
Carter.
go DJ, cause that's my DJ.
That's my
Say go
DJ.
DJ,
Manny Fresh.
that's my DJ.
That's my
Say go
DJ.
DJ, cause
These
that's my
niggas so mad at me right now.
DJ.
Fresh, guess what? Guess what?
Cause that's my
Birdman, put them niggas in a trash can. Leave them outside of your door, I'm your trash man. I'm steady lighting up the hash and riding in my bag. You will need a gas mask, man. You snakes, stop hiding in the grass. Sooner or later I'll cut it, now the blades in your ass. You homo niggas getting A's in the ass, while the homie here tryna get paid in advance. I'm staying on my grizzy, I'm a bona fide hustler. Play me or play with me, then I'm gonna find your mother. Niggas wanna eat cause they ain't ate nothing, but niggas wanna leave when you say you out of mustard. So I'ma walk into the restaurant alone, leaving behind just residue and bones. In your residence with Rugers to your dome, like where the fuck you holding the coat? Holding your throat, choke. So go. So go. This. Y'all stay with me. This is the color DJ, and I'm a DJ. Manny Fresh, yes, that's my DJ. And it's the color. Come on, fucking with me.
We Japanese still. You getting cooked in front of your family? Like a Japanese meal. It's Yasuta Hibachi and none of you niggas can stop me. Can't help but watch me. So look, bro. It's Black History Month, and you know we do what we do best, dealing with ancestry, biological ancestry, and just to remind the viewing audience and those that may view this later, ancestry and culture do not directly correlate. Ancestry and the way you look today, physical appearance, your phenotype, your morphology, your facial and cranial metrics has nothing to do with who you directly descend from, what group that you directly descend from, what group of males you come from, or what group of females you come from in times past. And the reason why I got to keep reminding y'all that, because these sentiments are being echoed in social media, Facebook, X used to be Twitter or whatever, all these different groups, Reddit, because people are not understanding that the way you look today and what culture you may have or what language you speak today does not necessarily mean that your ancestors spoke that same language, practice the same cultural traits that you do today, or look the same, or shared the same appearances of you today. Your ancestors could be frail, freckles, red hair, and you today could be heavily melanated, what we call kinky or very coarse hair, and very quote unquote Africoid features. You guys have to get that in your brain. You got to get that in your mind that just because you look away today does not mean your ancestors necessarily look like you. Again, we don't make clones. When you have sex with a woman, you're mixing and shifting genes, right? And those genes are being converted through the step of meiosis, and they create you. And then you're going to do the same thing once you have sex and you reproduce and then you create a progeny. Those children are not clones. We don't create clones. We all come from the same group of individuals that lived about 100 to 200,000 years ago, but the whole planet Earth is filled with diversity. We can even see this with the canines, with the dogs. Within the last 200 years, new breeds of dogs have popped up. They look completely different from each other, like Chihuahuas. They look completely different than a Great Dane, but they ultimately share the same common stock, no matter how different they look in height, cranial shape, fur type, fur color, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Don't get too far ahead of you. So what I'm trying to explain to you guys, trying to beat and ingrain into your brain, is just because someone doesn't look like X group does not mean they don't descend from X group, right? Just because someone practices a different culture or a different religion or, speak different languages today does not mean they don't descend from a group that speaks a different language in the past. You guys have to get that in your brain. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, Happy Black History Month, by the way, is because mainly here in the States, probably some other places, you guys are trying to rob groups of their diversity. And the reason why you're trying to rob them of their diversity, because something known as race. Race is pseudo. Race is fictive. It's made up. Biological ancestry is empirical. That's real, right? We can trace who you descend from through your sex cells directly, your Y DNA, mtDNA, and we know what admixture that you have within the last 5 to 300 years through your autosomal admixture test. So we can actually show those things. Just categorizing people as colors, saying, oh, this is a Black American, this is a white American, tells you zilch, nada, zero about their ancestry. Your cells in your body, your somatic and your germ cells tell you the story of where you come from and who you come from and what group that you align with. Not just, someone just giving you some blank rhetoric saying black, white, black, white. And again, I have to keep echoing these sentiments because you guys are heavily inundated with pseudo doctrine of race. And that's the first thing that comes to your mind. So it happens on both extremes. You have the abos that believe that slave trade never happened, that everybody over here that's African American, Native Indigenous people. That is false. And then you have the other opposite of that extreme, which is no African American has Native Indigenous ancestry, which is also false. There are some, as the title says, African Americans that directly descend from Native Americans. There are some. So there it is. There it is. You're going to see in today's show of us, demonstrating that fact that we actually do have African Americans. See, again, African American just a social categorical group. This has nothing to do with ancestry. Just a group that people pin other groups in, like Latin American, white American, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you guys keep trying to treat these terms as biological markers, and it's not. That's why you get these crazy, theories and ideas that, oh, well, if you are in this group that we categorize socially, and therefore you must descend from X group. It just does not work that way. As we brought out in prior episodes to ad nauseum at this point, there are plenty of African Americans that descend directly from Europeans. Plenty. It's about 5 million males, right? The female pool is more African than the male pool is. That's why a lot of you guys that are identitarian, you don't want to address your male lineage because you yourself are a male, right? You're ashamed of it, and you want to go straight to your mother's lineage and somehow identify as a transsexual at that point because you're not a damn female. But, that's for another topic. That's a whole nother bag we're dealing with there. But this is the weird stuff that goes on when we're dealing with ancestry. No one wants to own up to, their ancestry because it goes against everything they were taught. Most of us have been inundated with racism, from a young age to an adult, and we're trying to use our ideas of racism, right, and superimpose them on DNA and ancestry, and it just does not work. It's like mixing water and oil. It does not mix. And this is why you have individuals that are fighting so hard tooth and nail to keep quote unquote niggas out of Native American ancestry. This is the same thing because you feel like, oh, no, that's tainted. I don't want anything to do with that. You don't have no choice in that. We don't have no choice in say on who we descend from. That's just a biological fact. Whoever had sex with our great foremothers and our forefathers produced that, and then it is what it is. You don't choose that. That's not a choice, right? You have no choice or no say in that. Nobody has no choice in saying who they actually descend from. But for some reason, you guys that are heavily inundated with race, heavily inundated with ideas of colonial racism, you guys just cannot accept that fact because you want to be able to, outcast certain groups that you don't fucking like. And that's just not scientific, and it's just idiotic at the end of the day. And on this channel, we try to break through some of those barriers that you guys are struggling with, right? So, in today's episode, I'm going to show you the post that I saw on Facebook that inspired the video. And I was like, okay, I need to talk about this because a lot of people are struggling with this concept. And I know why, because people always try to give pushback, right? They always get pushback to ideas they don't like. And a lot of it has to do with race because you see people of a different race or a different hue that you don't want to associate your ancestry with, which you have no say in. You have no choice. You guys are not gods. You're not deities. You're not Buddha. You can't control and shift reality like that just because you're upset. And it tends to be a lot of times where, people that when they see people that are African or African American, and they say, well, these people, for example, the Chadic Basin. There's a lot of people RV88 in the Chadic Basin. These people descend from ancient peoples of the Balkans. There's no way around it. You can get mad and upset. Oh, well, they look sub-Saharan African. It does not matter what they look like or what you think they look like. Ancestrally speaking, if you go back far enough in time, maybe into the Holocene, these people are going to eventually have ancestry and their ancestors coming from the Balkans, Bulgaria, and places like that. Eventually, no matter what you say or how you feel in your social milieu, that's not going to change the fact that they descend from those groups. Same thing with African Americans. You do have a few African Americans that literally descend from Native Americans. Why? Because African slaves and indigenous people mixed in times past, and we have their children today. They didn't disappear. They were not abducted by aliens. You know, this is not some kind of sci-fi movie where the aliens came down and abducted all of the with some kind of racial purist act that's trying to remove all of the descendants of the admixed indigenous and African slaves. That did not happen. The progeny is still here today. There's no way around it. We can see it in the genes. We can see it in the introgression. This is why this is why a lot of African Americans do show like 1% indigenous America, some percentage of indigenous American DNA. What's that reflecting? Your autosomes are showing what? Admixture. That these groups mix with one another at one point in time. And now we do have a significant populace that has it. People always like to bring up percentage. 1%. 1% of what? 50 million? 1% of 50 million is what? 2% of 50 million is what? 1% of 50 million is 500,000. That's 500,000 people. That's a lot of people. 2%, which is more likely as far as NRY and mtDNA is involved, maternal and paternal DNA amongst African Americans. That's 1 million people that are direct descendants in some shape, form, or fashion of indigenous Americans. You guys keep trying to demarcate people because you don't like the way they look, you don't like all this other stuff, or the skin color. Because a lot of people don't have any issues with white Americans claiming indigenous American ancestry. It's only, what I see, what I've observed, is it's a lot of hatred towards people that are African American. I know there's negative baggage with that. But however you feel will not change the fact that if you go back 200, 300 years, that great-grandpappy was a native indigenous man that most likely had sex and impregnated an African woman, or vice versa, an African-American man who most likely had sex and impregnated a native indigenous woman. That's just the facts. And facts don't care about your feelings. You can opine into the moon turns blue or turns to cheese. Your genes are your genes. The cells in your body are your cells, regardless of how you feel. Right? All right, so I want to go into this real quick. I want to show you guys what inspired this video first. Happy Black History Month. Indigenous admixture is also a part of Black history, so we're going to talk about it. European admixture is also about Black history, a part of Black history, so we're going to talk about it. Your idea of Black history has been tainted with racism, so we're going to the group of people that's considered Black American are very diverse, and we're going to touch on those different aspects. Regardless of how you feel about it. That's the issue. You guys always start with your feelings instead of starting with the evidence. So this is the post I was posting in My True Ancestry using the Ancient DNA Match group on Facebook. And there's a meme. It says, "Where you going, bro? I got your DNA results." And they say you're not Indian. You're African and European. And then this guy that's wearing this, headdress, feather headdress is saying, "I need to run now." So I saw this. I laughed at it. I chuckled at it. And I went down and politely commented, "Some African Americans actually descend from Native Americans." Now, 4 people liked it, 4 people laughed at it. Why? Because they don't want any African American associated with Native Indigenous American. Now, I did not make the ABO claim. The ABO claim is the extreme claim, which cannot be proven, which is just, farce, which is a farce that all African Americans are somehow Indigenous American. No, that's not true at all. All I said was the fact. And the fact of the matter is this: some African Americans actually descend from Native Americans. Why do people laugh? Because they don't want to associate people that look like this with Indigenous Americans, because 9 times out of 10 they have a distaste or dislike for African Americans because they are racist. And it's okay to say that, because a lot of you guys run from it. "Oh, I'm not racist," but you do stuff like this. Demarcate people, based off their skin color, based off their language, based on what social group they're in, but don't want to be called racist. You know, you're dressed up like a doctor, I'm gonna call you a damn doctor. You're acting as if I'm gonna call you a doctor. You're acting as a racist, I'm gonna call you as a racist. That's it. You guys want to do the acts, but don't want to be called out on it. So Stephen Bogle, he's one of those abos. He believes that African Americans are all somehow, and I had to correct that. I'm like, no, that's not true at all. As you see, this got 50 replies. And I just respond to Stephen. The ancestors of African Americans mainly come from Europeans, Africans, and a small contribution from Native Americans. This is all true. So what does Nahua does? He says less than 1% of the ones who have it. Why does he do this? Because he wants to minimize it as possible. But even at 1%, even we went with his 1% figure, which I'm going to correct here, that's still 500,000 people. That's about 500,000 people that will have it, right? And that's just based off what the amount of DNA that we have today. And this is why African Americans should not be afraid of DNA and start embrace taking DNA tests, because the more we know, the better. The more numbers we collect from the African American groups, is the better. These numbers are subject to change. The more you're afraid and scared to take DNA tests, the less we're going to know, and there's going to be more mysteries, right? And we need to solve these things. So I corrected him right here, because he's I'm going to bring it up later that he's discussing autosomal admixture, which on average it is about 1%. And I said, no, well, that's a lot of people. It's more like 2%, which is about 1 million people. That's a lot of African Americans with direct Native American ancestry. Because people love to just say percentage, because when you say percentage, it makes the number smaller than it actually is. 1% of what? It's about 50 million of us, quote unquote, African Americans, right? So if you take 1% of that, that's 500,000. And if you take 2% of that, that's 1 million. That's a lot of people. That's a lot. Okay. Just so you guys can know, what's the population? Let me see. Population of Houston. Let me see. What's the population in Houston? The population in Houston is 2.28 million. So 1 million is like a city, man. You know, put these things in perspective. And Moore, I would like you to come in, because my brother Moore is a brother that descends maternally from indigenous Americans as well. He's considered an African American. He directly descends from. So look, the population, just so you guys can put this in perspective, the population in Houston, Texas is 2.2 million, almost 2.3 million. And I'm telling you, there's about 1 million African Americans that directly descend either maternally or paternally from indigenous Americans. That is a lot of damn people. Again, people always run to percentage because people are going to say, oh, that's not that much. That is a lot. 1% of what? 2% of what? 50 million. Anyway, let's go back. So now we got that out the way. Two people liked it. He responds, Stephen responds to him because he doesn't believe that black people went to slavery, which is complete nonsense. We can show that the African descendants that were here in the 1600s, 1700s, through their isotopes and their enamel, it reveals that they were once in Africa, because you could tell what type of foods they were eating. You could tell that they were taken and transported from Africa over to the Americas. D-Red says, my maternal ancestry comes from indigenous Americans. I would like D-Red, I would like you to come on the show and share your story, because this is a part of African American ancestry. See, a lot of people, they use Black History Month, African history as a sacrament. And what I mean by that is, if you don't say that Ghanaian is your only ancestor, if you don't say that Yoruba or Nigerian is your only sole ancestry, it's an issue. It's a sacrament to speak against, because they treat that ancestry just like people that are BHIs treat Israelite ancestry. That's the only thing they want to acknowledge. And if you speak outside of that and against that, you're a coon, and See, you're dealing with racism on both sides of the spectrum. Both sides of it is racism. Y'all don't like that word, but that's what you guys are doing. You guys are racist. If you see someone named African American or socially categorized as such, then therefore they can only be one thing. That's racial purism. That's where that comes from. You are practicing actively racist. You're actively racist. Y'all don't like that term. I don't like that term, but if you dress up as a doctor, I'm gonna call you a doctor. If you act as a mechanic, I'm gonna address you as a mechanic. And that's what we're seeing in this conversation. And then he responds to me, it's less than 1% of the genetic composition. Again, that's autosomally. Anyway, the problem is that they claim to be indigenous Americans without having any language, customs, etc. And at the same time, they're not at 90% sub-Saharan African ancestry. And again, he's dealing with autosomal. And come up with ridiculous claims that about their origins, like we came out of the soil or we came from another planet. Now, I agree with that last portion. But again, this part right here is misleading because, again, you're dealing with autosomal. Autosomal ancestry just shows you who you mix with relatively recent. So if I have children with a Chinese person, my children's autosomal admixture is going to be completely different than mine. Right? It's going to be 50% similar to their mothers. So what you're going to say is, oh well, they're over 50% East Asian. How could they be of African descent? Hello, because they come from me. I'm of African descent. I'm from EU 290. The autosomal admixture don't tell you that. I keep trying to beat these concepts in you guys' heads. I'm trying to educate you guys because you guys are being fooled and bamboozled and inundated with pseudoism daily, day in, day out on social media. Right? So anyway, Stephen Bogle says some more nonsense. And then Nahua says, oh, these are your language groups or whatever. Again, none of the language groups, culture does not determine who you are today. Whatever language group you think you should be associated with, we don't even know Stephen Bogle's DNA. We don't know if his ancestry is actually from West Africa. We don't even know. He throughout the discourse of this conversation, we did not see his DNA. We don't know what the hell he is. Right. So then I'm responding to Nahua again. I said, you don't need language and customs to be a descendant from any group. Sex and biological reproduction determines that. Sex is what determines who you come from. The act of sex and reproduction is what determines who you descend from, not what language you speak. Most of us speak a PIE language. Most of us speak English. That has nothing to do with our ancestors. We don't know what our ancestors spoke based off of just what we speak today. That's so crazy. You go 200-300 years, your ancestors speaking a whole different language family, a different language family. So I said also it's about 2% of African American populace. Pierre Amy H. Walker et al. 2009. You know, I stay sourced up. And then he has to concede to that. He says, I understand that, but I'm responding to Stephen Bogle, who is using that as proof. That's not proof. You need to associate, you need to address it properly and be like, listen, that culture and language don't even correlate with ancestry like that. Y'all try to use everything else under the sun to prove ancestry except the one thing that does, which is just sex cells. Just sex cells show you ancestry. Why? Because the only way you can get that is through biological reproduction. So that shows you a direct line of descent. Not what culture you practice, not what food you eat, not what language you speak. None of that stuff does. And this is why I say you guys are heavily inundated in pseudoisms. Right. We need to go to the fake Israelite Academy in Detroit or wherever the hell that is located in. Then we'll be seen as accredited in the eyes of the populace. I can't let you do that, Ron Shields. Anyway, So he says, I'm speaking about the percentage of American Indian DNA and African Americans who have it, not about the percentage of African Americans who carry American Indian DNA. So he's going off autosomal. And I told him that's an autosomal DNA chart. I'm referencing NRY, which is non-recombining Y DNA, and mtDNA. So that's dealing with your maternal paternal DNA. All right. Anyway, then Stephen Bogle's he's an abo, so he believes that slavery never happened, which is completely farce. It's completely a farce. You got the two extremes fighting with each other in this chat. But we did come to a conclusion here between me and Nahua, just to understand that there is indigenous American ancestry within the African American populace. There are indigenous Americans today that are walking around that are actually European descendants. We know that through their DNA. And that's why just the same response we got from the Black Hebrew Israelite community from DNA testing is the same response we got from the Native Indigenous Americans, years ago, because they did not like their results. They did not like the fact that, hey, they did a test and found out they were European maternally and paternally in some cases. They were shitting on DNA too, because it did not reflect their ideas. See, y'all put the ideology first. You need to put the evidence first and then mold your ideology from the evidence. Y'all backwards. You guys are backwards. And when you follow these cult-like groups, you have no choice but to be backwards because they're teaching you and molding you to be backwards. They want you to disregard the evidence and go straight to the ideology. Everything must buttress your ideological claims instead of, hey, let me look at the evidence and then let me morph and change and shift to fit with the evidence. Anyway. So he went on to talk about E1B1B. How is E1B1B in Europe? And I believe I did respond to this. Hold on, let me see. And I just basically, Stephen, E1B1B carriers in Europe are descendants of Mesolithic Africans. It's a very simple thing. But let's go from there to this. Y'all see this guy right here? Y'all see this man right here? If you just looked at him, you'd be like, oh, this guy's African. If you judge him based off his culture, his language, oh, this guy is just an African American. That's all he'll ever be. His ancestry is just a bunch of damn slaves that were transported from West Africa. You're not just going to get people like Nahua saying stuff like that. You're going to get Afrocentrics and Africans saying the same damn thing. You one of us are. It's a sacrament to say you anything else. Because you say you anything else, your ancestry goes from anyone else, especially in this community, you're a coon. That's what they're going to tell you. You're a coon, you hate yourself. No, you niggas hate yourself. Because when you take your DNA test, you make 1,000 excuses to demarcate your ancestry. To exclude your ancestry. No, you hate yourself. You hate who you are. Because once you take that DNA test, they swab that spit, and they analyze and sequence your genomes, you're the one making all the excuses. Let me identify with my mother's side. Sir, you are a male. Are you trying to identify as transsexual now? Are you a part of the LGBT, whatever the hell the rest of the damn acronym stands for? Are you part of them? Because last time I checked, you are a male. I don't want to acknowledge that. You are the people that have struggling with identity. The reason why you're struggling with identity, because you've been taught your whole life that skin color is all that fucking matters. And if you have a certain complexion, a gradation of skin color, then you cannot be a part of X group, and you are associated with some kind of moral compass or moral attribute as if you're evil or good based on how you look. So if you need Afrocentric circles, a lot of these people say, oh, white ancestry is evil, the Tamahu are evil. Like, so now you're at a conundrum, right? You're at a conundrum because you don't want to associate yourself with all this bad negative shit that you put on the skin color or the people around you have associated with skin color. This is the idiocy of these communities. So we're looking at this man right here. And the first thing y'all gonna say is he gotta be Ghanaian descent, Nigerian descent. He got to come from the Chad Basin. He got to be some kind of African. If you say anything else, you're coon. What? Okay. This is why this is so poetic justice, man. This is poetic justice. I'm going to tell you why it's poetic justice. Because, you know, a lot of the bullshit y'all believe in is flying in y'all face. Flying right in your face. This man right here took his DNA from where? African ancestry, headed by Rick Kittles. And what do they tell him? That you share paternal genetic ancestry with people living in North America. This man is a direct descendant of Native Indigenous Americans, paternally. Now what? You hate yourself. You want to associate yourself with another. Shut the fuck up. We don't have enough people telling pseudos to shut the fuck up. We don't have them. A lot of you guys are complacent with them. A lot of you guys like the Africanity push and that bullshit that comes with it. So you're silent and you know better. And you know better. But you're complacent with it. You niggas ain't fighting against this shit. You ain't out there pushing that we diverse. You're just as much as guilty as them because you love the idea of racial purism. You love the idea of Nazis and rednecks. Just come out and say it. Matter of fact, you don't got to say shit. On Genesis 49ers, we're going to expose y'all and let the world know that y'all do that. So the few that get it, they're going to stand strong. But y'all going to be silent and quiet and allow this bullshit to matriculate through the internet. And these are the people saying, you hate yourself. No. You have a problem with this. We don't. We understand just because you're in a social category does not mean you share common ancestry. What gives you common ancestry is your haplogroup. That signature that's on your wild DNA. The only way you can get that is that a common male ejaculating into a female. I just got to keep it 100 with y'all, man. That's the only fucking way. So what do we know about this man? We know maybe in the last 200, 300 years that he is a product, a direct product of an indigenous American. We know this. What Smokey say at the end of Friday, and you know this, man. That's why all 2024, man, all 2024, we're going to address these ancestral claims, and we're gonna nail you guys with this. Because at the end of the day, a lot of you Afrocentrics and a lot of you racists out there need to sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
And we putting cases on all you bitches.
Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
All 2024, bro. We not playing with y'all, man. We tired of the bullshit. We tired of the riffraff. We're going to actually teach you genetics. We're actually going to teach African Americans ancestry. Ain't nobody playing with y'all, man. Shout out to my brother Moore in the building. What's going on, G?
Shalom, fam. So you say my G actually, you know what I'm saying, might be Cherokee in this piece. Like, so when brothers actually say, you know what I'm saying, that they might be Cherokee, he actually might be Cherokee.
Yeah. Facts.
That's what's up.
No. He hates himself more.
Oh, no.
That's always the Afrocentric response. He hates himself. If he doesn't say something that's African friendly, like I'm from Ghana or I'm from Nigeria or I'm from what's that Nas you said? Not the Mohicans, but the lost tribe of Shabazz.
I know that. Wow.
Then he hates himself, brother.
Oh, D Red need a link. Hold up. We're gonna get you that link real quick. Here you go. All right.
I'm not playing with these guys, bro. All 2024, bro. All 2024. I'm putting cases on them, bro.
Okay.
Got to, bro. Cause, bro, like,
all right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
Maji woke up and chose violence. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, more they lucky because I've been wanting to do this, but I've just been too busy.
Man,
You know what
I
I'm
heard
saying?
that. I heard
So-
that.
So y'all got it coming, man.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
little bit of free time, brother, they getting it.
No, I'm with it. This year's the year of the Scholastic Massacre, fam. Like, it's got to go down because there's too much nonsense, bro. And AI is making it worse, bro. AI to make the echo chambers like even more insulated. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy,
And then you brought up the school thing. That's just
bro. I'm heartbroken now. Like, there's no respectable, you know what I'm saying, scholars in the Israelite community, in the conscious community. None of that's like bro. People got to make up scholars. People got to get fake doctorates. Bro. How the mighty have fallen.
just imagine, like, you know what? We're not gonna be accepted by that academia. Let's make our own academia where we can push whatever garbage we want to push.
Yo, when they hit the reading list for that school, bro, I was like, nah, bro, you just did a whole greatest hits of like the BHI and like the 1/2, like, you know what I'm saying, stuff like the books being sold in Harlem. Was like, for real, we doing that? That's the reading list, fam. From Rudolph Windsor. Book. Yeah, from Rudolph Windsor, bro. When you bookcase when your bookcase starts with Rudolph Windsor and it ends with Ron Dalton Jr., bro, just light it on fire, bro. Just light it on fire, bro.
Oh, please tell me they got the Hebrews to Negro series on the reading list.
Yes, bro. I was like, bro, I was done. I couldn't take it no more. Like, when it starts with Rudolph Windsor and it ends with Ron Dalton Jr., just light your whole bookcase on fire, bro.
This is what we up against, y'all. This is what we up against. I feel like Moses at the Red Sea, man. And the Red Sea in this case is a sea of pseudo, bro. It's a sea of pseudo. We need the Most High to split that sea in half so we can have a clear passage.
I feel like Moses, when he came down from the mountain and through the you know what I'm saying, the 10 Commandments down, and told them niggas, hey, y'all grab shanks and stand on one side of the camp, and they walk to the other side of the camp. I can't take this no more. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to go. We got to thin the herd. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, you ain't lying.
Bruh, when I heard we doing fake Israelite institutions now, I can't even do it, bro. I can't even. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, bro. Like, I thought I already had the situation, and I'm like, no, bro, we doing this.
There's a reason. There's a reason you're supposed to cut a malignant tumor. So a malignant tumor, right, is not harmful at the onset. It's not harmful. It's malignant.
But if it metastasizes, you understand?
Thank you.
Woo! Now
we
got problems.
That's your ass, Mr. Postman. And that's what happened within this community. We let this stuff fester for so long, and with no direct challenging. Those that know better are not coming out in droves to challenge and push against it, because a lot of people are secretly in love with these groups. And, oh, I can't say that about these groups. And now look at it. That malignant tumor is now it's all over the body. Now you on stage 3. You know,
stage 4, bro. It didn't hit the kidneys, the lungs, the brain, the bone marrow. It's a wrap, bro. Hey, shout out to D-Red Jordan at the panel.
D-Red.
Oh shit, what's up, y'all?
What's good?
I just came on here to say, man, that's why I don't tell people who they are, bro. Like, people be out here saying you are this, and I'm like, you don't know that person's DNA. You don't have the authority to tell somebody who they descend from and who they genetically related to. You just don't have that authority. And I think a lot of times we get caught up in that. And they, you know, like I said, you know, when I'm on the Pan-African panel, they call me an avo because I tell them I can't say that them people ain't who they say they are. I can't say that until I look at their genetics and see what, you know, I can't say who the people related to or not. You know what I'm saying? They were like, well, you say you're Israelite. I said, cause my genetics, I can say that. You know what I'm saying? I said, you know, shit, I got damn near 30% Native American ancestry. Damn near. And I'm like, so, you know what I mean? I'm 59 something percent, basically 60% West African. I said, by y'all standards, I'm technically not even African. I said, I even got 3% Japanese ancestry, which I don't know how the fuck that got in there, but it's there. I said, so, I mean, but, I mean, I think
You know what it is?
I,
You know what it is? People don't know history because there was a lot of Asians coming over to the Americas during the industrial boom, building railroads and shit. So there you go, boom. They come in and they mix with somebody, along your line. It might have been a maternal grandfather or paternal grand. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we know that history shows us that these people groups was in the Americas at the same time. And we already know men and women, they're going to get together and do what? That's a testament of human history. They're going to have sex. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I get called an Abo on their channels. Then I go on the Abo channel, they call me a Pan-African. Then I go, you know what I mean? Like, I tell them, I just look at I can't do that, bro. I said, my homeboy Calvin. I was telling him back in the day, some years back, you know what I'm saying, right when we first took our DNA shit. And so I got my results back. And so I'm trying to tell him, man, you West African. I'm looking at him and I'm saying it is that. He's like, nah, man, I'm Chumash. That's how I learned who the Chumash Indian were. He said, I'm Chumash. I was like, nigga, get the hell out of here. Nigga came back. That boy had Pacific Island haplogroup, by chromosome haplogroup. And his autosomal was like he had West African admixture, but his autosomal had more of a leaning to, when you looked at the horizontal distance matrix, it had more of a leaning to Plains Indians, not Plains Indians, but California Indians. So what was I supposed to say to that? Just because he looked like he grew up in the projects, everything looked like a typical, what you phenotypically quote unquote black guy. But his genetics said he was not that. So from that point on, I learned to not tell people who they are. His traditions, his oral history matched his genetics. So who am I to say that some of these other brothers that's on YouTube saying that they Aboriginal or indigenous, who to say some of their shit don't match up? I don't know. So,
that's why they got to stop being scared of taking DNA tests. That's what it is. I remember I was on Garfield show, D-Red, and the lady said she was an indigenous American, and all I told her was take your DNA test. Everybody in the chat was like, "Oh, now she hate us." I'm like, all she got to do, take a DNA test. You might come back mitochondria A2. I don't know. We don't know. Like you said.
Shout out to A2. You know what I'm saying?
A2. Hey, Moore, you A2, right?
I'm A2G.
Hey, look, indigenous American ancestry right there. Come on, y'all. Hey, can you speak to that if you don't mind? If you mind sharing, just let me know.
Man, hold on. Like, so I'm one of them. What did you say? 2% it was?
Yeah, 2% of African Americans.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was that high. Like, that's a lot of folks, man. That's a lot of folks, man. That's so. On my mother's side, my mother's family comes from the American Southwest. We descend from Navajos, etc. on that side. Go back to Athabascan speaking people. I'm 12.5%, 14% Native American. My mother's 25, 30%. Which is like it's interesting where she's from. There's you can look European as all hell, and most people down there got like 30% like Native American because of how the admixture just keeps perpetuating and whatnot, right? But at the same point in time, I also accept like if I have like a daughter or whatnot, like she's not going to have that Native American ancestry. Like she'll have the autosomes or whatnot, but she wouldn't have like the maternal line because she's gonna get that from her mother and whatnot. So it would stop with me on that concept, right? But yeah, I got no issue identifying with my Native American side. I got no issue accepting that it's not an issue. It don't make me a coon or a sellout. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd hate myself if I didn't accept it. You know what I'm saying? Because it just is what it is.
That's the irony, more. That's the irony. You actually embrace your ancestry. You call it coon.
That's crazy, ain't it?
Oh man, Battle X. Battle X said, see, everybody trying to find arguments against DNA because they don't like the results of it. It's not fitting their idea of how ancestry should work.
Bro, everybody's scared, bro. Just say what it is, fam. Like, you're scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to find out that you definitively don't come from where you think you come from, right? You prefer. It's like, you know what I'm saying? I had a homie that never wanted to go to the clinic or whatnot. I never wanted to get any tests done to see if he had any STDs or whatnot. Because like, if I don't know, you know what I'm saying, then it is what I can't suffer the consequences. Like, nah, bro, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. You know what I'm saying? If you don't go to the doctor, you're sick. You will still be sick. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like, so
I think we lost him. Are you still there, more?
I was still talking and whatnot. My fault. But yeah, we're not that far removed from like a time period to where you know what I'm saying, everybody just assumed like again, everything is just based off phenotype, right? We're not that far removed from it, bro. Like genetic, we're just now at the door being open of genetics shutting all that down and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna take a while for people to really, really just sit there and sit with the fact that, you know what, like phenotype is fluid, and that got a lot of implications. I was just talking to Black Tastic earlier or yesterday. We were talking about some stuff about West Africa and Berbers and whatnot and all kind of stuff. And I started talking about the genetic diversity of West Africa. I was going through a mountain of genetic papers trying to build up a couple of different models and whatnot. And it was crazy because I was like, you know what, I can literally like every haplogroup that I can find amongst African Americans, with the exception of the Native American haplogroups, I can literally find, like on the paternal side, I can literally find in the Sahel in West Africa. I can find RM269. I can find haplogroup I can find G. I can find K, bro. You know what I'm saying? E1B1A, E1B1B, EM30, all the you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Haplogroup like, H.
Yeah, all of H, all of it, bro. Like I was like, yo, it looks exactly the same, minus the Native American stuff. That's a fact. And I was like, wow, like I remember talking to a boo once, like we were actually pondering on like the effects of the Visigoth ancestry coming from North Africa, going to, like traveling down the trade routes from Morocco down to Timbuktu when I was like, yo, that's when you look at the DNA, brother. I mean, it sure look like that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see the fingerprints thereof. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like we literally, when you stop and think about it, bro, we literally probably have people that were in the slave trade, right? That when you go back far enough, descended from some European males that came to Africa, to North Africa, and got DNA that went down to West Africa and whatnot, right? People look like this dude right here don't know that he's haplogroup I and whatnot, haplogroup G, but still ended up on the slave ship and whatnot. Like DNA and phenotype and all, like it's crazy, bro. Like the human story is crazy, fam. And we keep limiting everything to just to a look, and we can't do that. Like if Sakari saw this dude on the screen walking down the street, you already know what the skis is, bro. You from Judah, you know what I'm saying? The whole nine, right? Come to find out, you know what I'm saying? Like based upon the whole breakdown, he'd have to be from a whole nother tribe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you had to be a Gadite according to this.
Yeah, Gadite, yeah.
But that's because I think they don't know how to. A lot of people, even when you talk about talking to people with genetics, they don't know how to read genetics. You know what I mean? So just because a person has a line of descent that they descend from, you know what I'm saying? That's when you got to use your line of descent along with your autosomal, and then you got to look at the distance matrix to see where you're more closely aligned to. And I think a lot of times people don't know how to do that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you can be like we always use people like Nas, right? He's haplogroup, his haplogroup like that because of how they look. But then you look at the horizontal distance maker, he may lean more towards a West African ancestry or something like that. So We got to look at we got to look at all of it. You know what I'm saying? And then we can kind of tell people, okay, you descend from this, but you have more of a leaning to this. You know what I'm saying? You descend, and then some people who they descend from, that's what they lean to. You know what I'm saying? As far as what they are the song. So, uh, I mean, it just we got to look at it and kind of teach people actually how to read their genetic chart and what to know what to look for, the verbiage. You know what I'm saying, and how to actually break it down. So,
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what Battle Axe is saying here about this Spanish explorer. My thing is this, bro. Who are these Spanish explorers, bro, coming over here? And I'm glad you brought up the people from Iberia that came over here to the Americas and people come from Europe in general. They had children. Where those children go, Battle Axe? You might be one of them. You might you know what I'm saying? You might be one of the descendants of these Spanish explorers.
Hold on, Battle Axe, I need to understand, bro, because you sound like whole Abo now, and I know that wasn't your stance now. Like you was on the whole, like, you know what I'm saying, like Jerusalem was in South Africa type. So have you? Is Jerusalem now Jerusalem, bro? Like is it moved to Peru for you or no? I'm just gonna leave that one on the back. You can answer that if you want to. You don't have to. If you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Inquiring minds want to know.
You remember them game shows like Who Wants to Be a Billionaire?
Yes, sir.
And they give you them options.
That was my
joint. Want to phone a friend?
Yeah, that was my joint. Phone a friend. You know what I'm saying? You got to pause the crowd right quick.
Oh man. But anyway, you brought up that you had A2 mitochondrial DNA, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, African Americans, like none of this stuff is like people bring up percentages, but again, percentages don't really tell you the story because our people are so encapsulated by smaller numbers. So if I say 3% of this, and you can be like, oh, well, that's only 3%. I've heard people say that. 3%, we're not gonna count that. That's 3%. You ain't gonna count millions of people. You know what I'm saying? A million people don't count. Come on, bro. That's silly. So this is a paper, Genetic Ancestry of African Americans, Latinos, and Europeans. And we're gonna skip back down to where I was at. And as you can see, detection of Native American mtDNA in European Americans and African Americans. So, you know, when people had those stories about my great grandma and you know, used to say we was Indians, that can be backed up with DNA testing, bro. You know, because a lot of people are like, no. They just trying to get themselves some kind of exotic ancestry and they hate being African. No, actually, when you do the testing, these people are coming back. Like Moore, you said you're A2. Sean, I forgot what mitochondrial DNA.
I believe he's B.
He's got a B. Yeah, so that's from an indigenous group. So many of those stories have some validity to it because as the African American populace begin to test more, we're starting to see these genes within those people. Right? Mm-hmm. It says here, mitochondrial DNA haplogroups A2, B2, B4B, C1b, C1c, C1d, and D1 are most prevalently found in the Americas and are likely to be Native American specific haplogroups because they are rarely found outside of the Americas. We assess the fraction of individuals that carry these haplogroups to validate the likelihood of Native American ancestry in European Americans and African Americans and show that these haplogroups are virtually absent in European controls. Because mtDNA haplogroups are assigned by classification with SNPs that segregate on these lineages, these orthogonal results provide an independent line of support for our estimated Native American ancestry in European Americans and African Americans. So you guys can't discount this no more. The DNA is showing it. And again, we're not making the Abo claim here. Remember, the Abo claim is slavery never happened, and everybody that's African American and indigenous American. That is false. But to sit up here and not, acknowledge that some of African Americans, and I say about 1 million, are actual descendants of Native Indigenous Americans, that's just racism. You bias and you racist. And as we were seeing in that group earlier. You know, um, even when we go to the slave population, because I want to leave these people with some information. We go to the Cattleton furnace. We see the indigenous American DNA there. Um, even I believe I shared this too, right? Even in Puerto Rico, I shared this recently, right? This is exploring the legacy of African indigenous Caribbean admixture in Puerto Rico, right? And within the Afro Puerto Ricans, go down. Shout out to my Afro Puerto Ricans, man. Within this group, we can see that this African Puerto Rican is a Native American descendant. And here's the kicker with this study right here. Within this Puerto Rican, Afro Puerto Rican, African Puerto Rican, within this African Puerto Rican, it's the only known indigenous male ancestry to date. The only known one. Because remember, in Puerto Rico, it's believed that all the males got decimated and killed off. None of the indigenous males have progeny today. Well, they studied the Afro Puerto Rican population, and within the Afro Puerto Rican population, they found, wait a minute, hold up. This brother right here, he actually a descendant of this is probably a living and breathing Taino Indian of Puerto Rican stock. Right here. So it says characterization of Y chromosome haplogroups among the sample group also found ancestral contributions from Europeans, Africans, and indigenous Americans. And that's huge. Again, this is huge in Puerto Rico because it's believed that all the males were decimated. It says determination of the observed haplogroups and their corresponding subclades provide further information about geographic origins and admixture in this population. Unsurprisingly, E1B1A was found in 13 of the 25 samples. So a 52% clip was found at the highest frequency in our sample. E1B1A is most prevalent in Western Africa with lower frequencies in central and eastern regions of the continent. So that blows any holes in the idea of Aboriginals believing that we, for some reason, all African Americans are somehow, they've always been with the Mayans and Aztecs, and they never, transatlantic slave trade being false and all that other crazy stuff they teach. It says this subclade is found at high frequencies elsewhere in the Caribbean, as summarized in Figure 5, and is consistent with current knowledge regarding the geography of the transatlantic slave trade. Interestingly, Figure 5 also illustrates variability across the Caribbean region, where the subclade predominant among E haplogroups, yet other E subgroups are found at higher frequencies in the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, and Guadeloupe. This distribution of different E subclades warrants additional examination, as it provides insight about male-mediated migration within the Caribbean. So you got E1B1B down there as well. You got E1A there as well. Shout out to my brother Moore. R1B1, the predominant haplotype in Western Europe, made up 24% of the sample. This finding is also consistent with historical accounts of European colonization of Puerto Rico and the Caribbean more broadly. So you brothers that are watching, that are scared to take your DNA test, like my brother Battle Axe, you're afraid to get R1B because, that's associated with Western Europe and that's associated with colonization in some cases, right? So a lot of you guys, this is one of the major reasons, right? So they have G here and I as well. Let me go down. Beyond the African and European Y chromosome haplogroups, again, for those watching, what is a haplogroup? A group of individuals that share a common ancestor. We're dealing with the Y chromosome, so we're dealing with male ancestry. So beyond the African and European Y chromosome haplogroups observed within this African Puerto Rican study community, we also observe indigenous American paternal ancestry in the sample. This finding suggests that the European colonization of the Caribbean impacted males and females differently, producing sex bias differences specifically in the representation of indigenous American lineages. Notably, one individual was identified as belonging to Y haplogroup QM3, a major founding lineage of haplogroup Q within the Americas that is indicative of indigenous American ancestry. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first report of the haplogroup QM3 found within contemporary Puerto Rican populations. So not only was found amongst this African Puerto Rican, It's the only report of male indigenous ancestry in Puerto Rico today. That's why you can't just judge people on how they look, what culture they have, what language they speak. Because this African Puerto Rican is the only surviving vestige of Puerto Rican, ancient Taino or Arawak males from Puerto Rico. You see how that works? Anyway, let me keep reading. Previous studies about uniparental markers in modern Puerto Rican communities have only yielded indigenous American maternal ancestry, concluding that indigenous American paternal ancestry was replaced as part of the process of colonization. Overall, the QM3 haplogroup is exceedingly rare within the Caribbean, with only a handful of studies observing it and only a few individuals from Cuba, St. Vincent, and Trinidad, as summarized in Figure 6. Other studies in Jamaica, Dominican, and Dominican Republic have also observed haplogroup Q in small numbers of individuals, but did not disambiguate the haplotypes to confirm that it was QM3 as opposed to Q types from Asia. The distribution of the haplogroup within the comparative population using the study is summarized in Figure 6. So anyway, the point was still made. You have a brother that's morphology and category is African Puerto Rican, but he himself is a direct descendant of male indigenous ancestry. Go ahead, more.
Bro, out here, last the Tainos, bro. That's crazy.
You got the last of the Mohicans, you got the last of the Taino.
Yeah, for real. Like, that's wild, bro. You know, it's a bunch of Puerto Ricans in New York mad as hell right now, too. Mad as hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? That's what an Afro, you know what I'm saying, Latino, but what? That's what an Afro Rican, what? Nah, that's cold. Yeah, but hey, at least they got one, bro. I thought it was none.
Right, bro.
I thought it was none, for real.
Yeah. So that's the crazy part. The people that say that they Taino or whatever, for the most part, a lot of them are highly European. And then you go find in the African community in Puerto Rico, you actually do have that indigenous male ancestry there. You know what I'm saying? So it's, again, people need to flip the way they look at things. They got to change their POV.
For real.
Because we probably would never know this if people was like, you know what, let's go test these brothers over here. Let's go test these sisters over here.
Yo, for real. They went from a ghost population to a trace population. Like, that's saying something, fam. That's saying something, bro. Y'all went from extinct to on the board, bro. But yeah, that probably shows too. Like, if they test enough people at a high enough percentage, like you'll see, like probably like 1%, less than 1% of the African Puerto Ricans and whatnot having that lineage and whatnot. That's what I'm saying. I agree with it, bro. Like, the more tests that people take, the better. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have a lot of assumptions and whatnot. Like in West Africa, a lot of people have assumptions. And I promise you, the more tests we get out of West Africa, the more jobs will hit the floor. Like, what do we find? Like, people don't even understand.
Yeah, you gotta like, we need our brother Battle Axe to take his DNA test, so we can know more about African American diversity. We need less people like Battle Axe and more people that's actually going to embrace the DNA testing, so we can know more about our end. See, this is the crazy part. More, I don't get this. I thought all they wanted to know was their history, because, you know, from a child up to an adult, we've been told we don't know our history. We don't know where we come from.
Yep.
Now we got a mechanism that can show us where we come from, what groups we relate to. Now we can fill in that dark part of our past that we thought we had. We thought we didn't have no history, no connection. All we thought of when we talk about African Americans was transatlantic slave trade, kidnapping, and that's it. Now we can increase those gaps, bro.
Because we weren't even kidnapped, so-called kidnapped from like the same place in Africa, right? We came from different places in West Africa, East Africa, etc.
Right. We got our brother Ezra in the building. I believe he's R1A. That's East European. Eastern European, and probably, you know, some Jewish ancestry right there. He would never know that, because I know his brother. His brother like a, you know, atypical African American, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would never know that just by just looking at, going off phenotype or going off what culture he has, or, going off of the conscious community. He would never know that. And that was been such an outcry in African American communities about not knowing their history, not knowing their ancestry, having that taken from them, being deprived of that.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can actually dig into it, and y'all don't even want to do it.
Because, bro, that's the cold part is people are really scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even understand, bro. Like, I thought I went out and put as much information on my DNA as I could. I took as many DNA tests as I got one more to take. I do want to take the African ancestry. I do got some issues with it, but I still do want to take it. But beyond that, I'm good on DNA tests. But like, I put all my info out there, fam. And like, I'm mixed. So I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I knew going in, like there was a lot of chances for a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. Like, bro, I don't care. Like I knew, like my whole life I've known I've been multiracial. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? Who cares, bro? Like no matter what your haplogroup is, just I promise you, like you're still gonna wake up and go to sleep the same. You know what I'm saying? You're still gonna go to the bathroom the same. Like, oh, like, bro, ain't that changing your life like that, bro? Like it's just it's a mutation on a chromosome. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that serious at the end of the day, right? But even on some super blackety black stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we need to understand okay, take Europeans and all that, the slave trade. Like if we was in West Africa right now, we'd still have the same haplogroup diversity we got right now.
Yeah.
We still, and the cool part is like if we go to West Africa, they be on this one. Oh, you look like us, you look like them, and you blah blah. They be like they identify people by phenotype in West Africa, and it's crazy because that we would be lost. If we went to West Africa trying to figure out who we were based upon phenotype, we would be all messed up, not know. Like you know what I'm saying? We'd be in all kind of wrong tribes and whatnot, all kind of wrong tribes.
Yeah,
but you haplogroup, fam.
Where they get that from too, because remember they had those European colonizers coming in, or the people that were just trying to discover Africa, and they would try to group people off their nose shape. Oh, he got an aquiline nose. This guy has prognathicism. He's a Hamite. All that stuff that's already been done. They try to replicate what these old racist white people were doing in the 17th, 18th century.
Yeah, but ain't no telling how long people been like. You got to figure, right? Like people have been doing stuff on phenotype for a long time, right? Because typically, like that did mean something, right? Like you were intermixing with the particular your ethnic stock looked a certain way, right? Like so, typically people of that ethnic stock had a similar ancestry, right? So like that's understandable or whatnot, right? Particularly like when everybody at one point is black in the world, right? Got you. But if fast forward to now, fam. You know what I'm saying? A million mutations later, fam. No, we can't really do that no more. You know what I'm saying? We gotta slow this one down because it's a different story now. You know what I'm saying? The diversity out here is crazy. But I can't stress this enough. We need to really accept that we was this diverse before we stepped on the slave ship.
Yeah, the biggest West African group, the Hausa, they got T. They got a bunch of R. Like people are like, oh, everybody over there, you want to be with it. The Hausa is the biggest Nigerian group. The biggest.
Bro, they 85 million deep, right? They the biggest tribe out there, period. They 85 million. Bro, they twice the size of the African American population. That's ridiculous.
I think they got like over 50 to 60% haplogroups that are normally associated with Eurasians.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. So 85, half of that, what, 42 million? So about 42 to 50 million of them are Eurasian related. That is crazy. And that's the biggest Nigerian group. Most people, when they think of Nigeria, they go straight to Yoruba, Igbo, They don't even think of the Hausa.
Go up north, talk about them Hausa, fam.
So when people say West Africa, even like you saying, even that's diverse. Like, come on, bro. Even that's diverse. You know what I'm saying? Oh man.
It's nuts.
Let me go to this paper, man. My brother D Red said he's his mtDNA is haplogroup A as well, and again that comes from native indigenous admixture. As we can see here, a fraction 17.1% of our study population was identified as being potentially admixed populations of origin other than African and European populations. This observation is substantiated by the overrepresentation of C1 and A2, two haplogroups highly prevalent in Southeast Asia and South and Central Americas, respectively, among individuals of Hispanic ethnicity. So, like, if you're African American, you see that A group, you see that C group, that D group, and that B group. That's showing you the story right there that your mother's mother was a full-blooded indigenous American. So just because you say African American, they say I have indigenous ancestry. It could be true. It could be true. And like we always say, stop running from your DNA test. Just go take it. You know, like my brother Battle X is in the comments right now. He might take his DNA test, might find out he J1.
Hey.
You might find it out.
I'm waiting for that too, though, because like when you do the breakdowns and whatnot, what people don't recognize, like, so for instance, in Mauritania, right? In Mali and whatnot, you see like the Tuareg that got J at like 3% or whatnot, right? But in Mauritania, they carry that joint, I think, like 11, 13%.
Right.
So, bruh.
You never know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
Hey, by the way, shout out to Vocab. Yes, there is haplogroup J in West Africa, but like I know you're stuck on that one. Yes, there is haplogroup J in West Africa. I promise you. We'll talk.
Oh yeah. That's easy though. That's easy. All you gotta do is look up the J1 M267 distribution map,
and
they got blotches in West Africa.
For real.
I'm talking about in Ghanaian and the coast, because you know how they do. They try. I remember a long time ago, me and Garfield got into an argument about what West Africa was, and he basically was like, "I'm talking about the coast, the slave coast." Well, even if you just narrow it down to the slave coast, they got that diversity there as well. Ain't no running from this diversity, man.
Bruh, because like you keep saying, like human beings got this nasty habit of intermixing. You know what I'm saying? Like we do not like being lonely, fam. We do not like being lonely, fam. We are going to mix and match a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If you stranded like it. And that's really here's the cold part. Like that's the Israelite story. You know what I'm saying? Like all these populations, they spread out and whatnot, and they intermix with a bunch of people and whatnot, right? And yet these same people claiming to be Israelites when I want to act like there's like some kind of genetic period and things like, yo, fam, we can't, come on now. We gotta stop playing.
Man,
them
J1 carriers, the Bagar Arabs, those different Jewish merchants and stuff like that.
Yep.
That they seen them African women over there. They seen like African booties, bro. Yeah, they would.
Ooh, baby, I gotta get you home with me tonight. Ooh, baby, gotta get you home with me tonight.
Come on, man.
They said convert her now. You know what I'm saying? Don't sell her, convert her. You understand?
She's a part of the tribe, brother.
No, for real. For real. Like it. Yeah. I'm gonna be going into that one too, because I got some stuff to respond to from that debate between Vocab and Zion Lex and whatnot.
Yeah, bro. Just let them know, man. You know, they didn't stop. Listen, bro, I don't know how people, like, they got this Disney version of history in their mind. What you think these group of men gonna do when they get over there? What else you think they gonna do? It's gonna be a lot of sexing.
Bruh. So for instance, like the Lemba, right? Their story was they sent a small group of men to Southeast Africa, no women, right?
Right.
Like, bruh. They did not go there to die off. I promise you. Right? You know what I'm saying? That was not the point of the trip.
Yeah.
The point of the trip was to keep the thing going. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Man, they came down and they laid that Mac down, laid that wood down. That's what happened. That's human history. You guys got, oh my God, y'all think everybody choir boys and shit. Like, oh no, not me. And then they got this idea that when they see certain colors or certain physical attributions as far as face morphology, oh no, I can't mess with this person. Then you got people that, the Torah say don't mess with the king. Like, shut up. That's not how it worked, bro. They went over there and they had sex with those women, and now we see the product of it. Come on, bro. It's been going on thousands of years. The African American community that we're talking about today, these African slaves or freemen, they got together with these indigenous women and they had sex and reproduced, and that resulted in people today. D. Red says he's haplogroup A. Moore, he's haplogroup A.
Yo, my mother's family, right? Like all the men they're either R1B, E1B1B, or J1, right? And all of them have Native American mitochondrial DNA. All of them. Like that's just that, like nobody. There's one person that got L1. It's like, how the hell did you get that? You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is like, bro, and one person is E1B1B, like, or actually E1B1A out of nowhere, out of just like, it's crazy. But all the men typically have North African or European haplogroups or whatnot in terms of the male side. But to the last one, they all got Native American mitochondria, right? Meaning what? That a population of North African, you know what I'm saying, Southern European males came through who's like, you know what? We didn't bring none of our ladies with us, you know what I'm saying? So how you do it?
Exactly. You already know what time it is. Oh man. Let me illustrate that a little bit more, man, right here. So this is HaploTree, and you can type in USA. You can see the ancient USA, our American, North American DNA here.
Where do you want to be when they at, bro? Where is that?
Oh no, it ain't. Maybe in that college that Ron Shields is opening. Maybe they got it over there.
No.
Maybe it's in the school in Detroit. I don't know, bro. It's not on this list. You know?
I'm hurt, bro.
But you can see a lot of these, ancient men right here, like 10,000 years ago, QL53, D4, mitochondrial DNA. Being here 10,000 years, so we can confirm this is indigenous American DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Your A2 here being 725, A2A being 315, Neo, Aleutian, and USA, Paleo, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So you got B2 here.
I'm still trying to figure out how the Kennewick man got X, bro. I'm like, yo, you was on the move.
Yeah.
So Kennewick is in Washington State, where I'm from, right?
Facts.
In the west coast of Washington. Like, so if people are familiar with the distribution of haplogroup X in terms of the mitochondrial side, that's typically found like in the northeast part of America, right? You don't really find them on the west coast like that. So I'm like, yo, how did you? I'm like, bro. Was out there moving,
Oh yeah, X2 in the building. A2AG, 5,675 years, mid-Holocene, North America. So if you're African American, you got A2AG, like your mother's mother been here for a long time, cultivating and doing all that good stuff, making history here in the Americas. B2. And if you go down, what does that say? Slave of sub-Saharan African ancestry, right? Go down. Let's look at some of these slaves. What does that say? H100, slave of sub-Saharan African ancestry. Now, this is believed. These were found in Charleston, right? this slave is believed maternally to descend from Fulani because Fulani also have, like you were bringing up earlier, West Africans having that mitochondrial and Y chromosomal diversity with them already. So they believe that this person may have been of Fulani descent. What do we have here? A2, slave of American ancestry. A2. So again, when Black people or African Americans say that they got Native Indigenous American ancestry, very much so can be true. Some of us do have it, so you can't just completely dismiss it. You can't.
And it's shown here came through the slave trade with it though.
Yeah,
that's a cold piece to put to it. You know what I'm saying? Some of us came through the slave trade with it. Wow.
Yeah, because this is an admixed slave population right here.
Yeah.
Dealing with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that this is common history, bro. And if you understand, like when I was in the Black Hebrews like code, we had to read a book called I think it's called Black Indians by William Katz. And I read the entire book. I even did a chapter review, what do you call that? Study guide for each chapter. And all throughout that book, all you reading about is the admixture of West Africans and indigenous people from Brazil, Central America, North America. That's all you reading about. People always talk about the Seminole Indian. They believe the Seminole Indians are ruling, and they will read that book to try to prove it. But in that book, it's telling you that African slaves got together with Native Americans and they mixed and they rocked with each other. So that's, again, the historical record is reflecting what we're seeing in the genes. Because like you got A2, D-Red got A. That just means Africans got together with Native Indigenous women, had sex and created children. And now we see the product of it. So let me illustrate that a little bit more for you, brothers. If you go to the African American Griot Legacy group on Family Tree DNA, and then go to the chart, D-Red was like, he don't know how that Japanese introgression got into his admixture. As you can see right here, you got African Americans with haplogroup D, which is associated with Japan. So this is most likely a descendant of M55, which is associated with Japan, right? So we did have that mixture. And again, you got to know about the railroads and these Asians coming in and starting to work in the Americas. That happened. That's history. And that's why we got to start pushing basic history instead of trying to do these deep breakdowns. We need to really teach the basics to the group, to this community. We need to teach basic geography, basic history, the basics of DNA, because a lot of us are lost in the sauce. We don't understand certain things, right? Let me go down here. What does that say? QZ780, Harry Keefe, born in 1832 in Carolina, in North Carolina. QZ780. Again, this is an African American Griot Legacy group. This could have been a slave holder, a child of a slave. This could have been a slave himself. But the point here is this is in the African American diaspora having that Q marker, proving that some African Americans literally descend from indigenous Americans. I got the wiki up here. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. So when you go to the wiki of the genetic history of Native Indigenous people, you do see that QM242 marker, the QM3 marker, and I believe that QZ goes back to QL54. So you do see that in Native Indigenous people. You see it in some African Americans, as we just showed. I'm going to show you again. Another chart. So this one is the Black Belt of Alabama group, African American Griot Legacy group. And once you go to the chart, let me share the chart. I'm going to show the Y and the maternal DNA. when you go to this chart again, there's that Japanese marker again in African Americans in Alabama. But if you go down, keep going down, you're gonna run into, what does that say? United States Native American, QM242. Bill Allen, born 1851 and died 1917. African Americans with Q. You have two more here, Price and Daly, 1730 to 1782, QFT and QM378. So these markers are found amongst, African Americans. And we got another Native Indigenous descendant in the group. Sean, what's going on, G?
Hey, shalom. I'm at work. I'm just jumping in. Keep going. I'm gonna chime in when.
Oh yeah. I want you to explain your maternal ancestry at some point when you're free, brother.
Yeah. I'll do it as soon as give me a.
All right, bro. So again, we illustrating that again. Some African Americans, actually, and indeed, they do descend from indigenous Americans, ancient Americans, however you want to call it. So when you go to the same chart, you can also check out the mitochondrial DNA that was found in this group. And what we see, A2V1, B2H, B45, what is it labeled as? Native American. You also have a Japanese mitochondrial DNA amongst these African Americans, was B4A1C1A. So again, the old saying is you can't judge a book off its cover. I mean, that applies here. Because you just look at African American and you make all these assumptions. And we already know what it means to assume. You're making an ass out of you and me. Because you clearly see that there are African Americans, living and breathing African Americans that literally descend from Native Indigenous Americans, whether on the mother side or the father side. Right? As we've been showing you all show long. So I'm glad my brothers came on here because they're living examples, living and breathing examples of what we've been talking about all day. And again, when I was on Facebook, I'm gonna show y'all that conversation for the people that's just coming in. This is what all sparked it. This post here. Where you going, bro? I got your DNA results, and they say you're not Indian. You're African and European. And they got this man crying and saying, I need to run now. He's wearing a feather headdress. He said, I need to run now. So this is supposed to be mockery. And I come in and say some African Americans actually descend from Native Americans. And this was laughed at. Let's see who laughed at it. This person right here, this person's probably has some racist ideas. They know probably got racist ideas because they don't think African Americans belong. This person right here, look at this person. And here's the funny thing. This person probably European. This person that made this negative, well, no, my bad. He liked it. But this person here might be European, Donovan Old Lodge. Janice, she's probably European. I don't know her DNA, but it's likely. And you're making fun or poking fun at African Americans having indigenous American ancestry, and you probably don't. That's the funny thing. I would love to see these people's DNA.
But you got to remember, that's why a lot of tribes don't want to do blood quantum because they don't want to X themselves out of the whole equation. Because we can't act like the Dawes Rolls didn't happen. The concept of a $5 Indian didn't happen. We can't act like we talk about history. That's part of their history that they don't want to look at and accept. That white people bought themselves on them damn rolls. You know what I'm saying? So just because you're on the reservation, just because you receive certain benefits, just because of whatever, don't necessarily make you a true Native American either.
Yeah, that's the coldest part too. Because like, so I come from like the Navajo, right? Like it's the biggest tribe out there, so they got the biggest blood quantum concept, right? So I don't qualify, but I got the haplogroup. I'm like, how the hell, you know what I'm saying? And there's people out there that got European haplogroups on both sides or whatnot, but they got enough autosomal DNA to qualify. I was like, yo, come on, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, because we could descend from the same group. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm
Right.
Chiricahua. I'm saying I'm Chiricahua. My family come from the Apache subgroup.
Yeah, we
You
can
see what I'm
vote, right?
saying?
We ain't too, but we
We
can
can
vote.
vote.
You know what I'm
We
saying? Like,
can vote. Yeah,
we
you
can
know what
prove
I'm
we came
saying?
for this joint, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And my percentage is high as motherfucker. It's over 20%, almost 30, like 26 point some percent. You know what I'm saying? So I got, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it is what it is, but nah, man, it's like, so it's like, it's funny how, like, Jashu was saying that they laughing at black folks that's saying that they got Native American ancestry, but a lot of them gotta accept the fact that too that y'all let white folks on the road. So some of y'all ancestry go right back to white folks. So y'all ain't who y'all say y'all are either.
Facts.
So you can't even really you can't it's like a pot calling the kettle black when it comes to that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, yo,
especially if you claim
D-Red,
the 5 civilized tribes.
hey, yo, D, you
Yeah,
A2? Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm A2. Yeah, I'm A2. That's why
Okay.
when I mean my wife was talking, I heard somebody said I didn't know who it was. I was like, did somebody say they was A2? She was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, I'm A2 too. I want to put it in the chat. I'm A2 too. You know what I'm saying? And shit, my wife got fucking Taino ancestry.
Yeah. What's up?
So
She's A2 as well?
no, she not A2, but she got Taino ancestry.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so I'm B2B. Again,
Yeah, we from so you from so you a plains motherfucker like us, like me and me and more. You know what I'm saying? You a plains motherfucker too. So you one of them last resistance motherfuckers.
yo, the crazy part.
No, I mean that's the truth though.
Yeah,
Huh? Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. But the crazy part is that if you see my mother is Chinese Trinidadian. So if you see my mother looked like a straight Chinese woman. You know what I mean? But she's Native American. You know, her father was Chinese. So I have the majority of my first cousins on my paternal side. Well, on the paternal side, not on my paternal side, but on my mother's paternal side, my direct first cousins are haplogroup O. You know what I mean? The majority of them. You know, so I'm sorry, haplogroups. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, haplogroup O. But yeah, I'm B2B. You know, I have Aboriginal, indigenous, Indian ancestry directly on my maternal side.
And what group are you African American? Because they said that's impossible on this chat.
Well, yeah, I'm African American. You know, I'm haplogroup E. I'm haplogroup E. You know, paternally.
But they say that's impossible for you to. Because I put on there some African Americans do have that ancestry, and they basically laughed and scoffed at it. So they saying that's impossible. That's not the case.
Yeah, well, I think they need to do some more research.
So they probably gonna be like, you lying, bro. Y'all up here lying.
Well,
Y'all black ass
you
ain't
know
got
what they
nothing to
say
do
about
with
it.
Indians.
You know what they say about the Yap Gang? We're a bunch of mamsers anyway.
Hey,
You know what?
I'm about to share my DNA because I know somebody's doubting that. So you know what I'm saying? I'm about to show the joint.
Watch this, y'all. I'm gonna type in Native American. I looked at this before. Let me see if I can find it again. Family tree group. Just to touch on what my brother D Red just said. And y'all remember the what is that? Not the Mohicans. That's another group that boasts a lot of Indian. Dang, what is they called, bro? Well, they did the DNA test on those groups, and they were highly European.
Was it the Mohawk?
Not the Mohawks. The start with an M though. They was claiming Jewish ancestry, Native.
No, the Muscalero. The Muscalero.
Man, if you would have said it, bro. If you would have said it. But when they did their DNA test, they found out they had a whole bunch of damn R.
Yeah, I think it was a Muscalero. I know they was a Apache subgroup.
Yeah.
The plain a Southwestern Indian subgroup.
Yeah, check it, bro. This is the American Indian DNA Project. And this is the funny damn thing about it. A lot of look at that. EM2, that's E1B1A right there. E1B1A, got damn haplogroup A here. EM2, EB13, E1B1B, all amongst that. So they got a lot of EB and A here too. They got some Chinese there, O and 175, some Japanese with the D markers, some N markers. Then look, European haplogroups R, I, J, 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 T, R, R. Some more J, some more. This is a lot of European. Look at that. Look, I'm still strolling. This is the Native American Indian Project I'm looking at. We already looked at the Black African, the Black American of Alabama and the Griot Legacy group. Now we're looking at this. Look at it. All this is European. This is how European that group is. So for you to poke fun at African Americans claiming an ancestry, you need to go look in the mirror and do your own DNA test because you might be a damn European.
Hey, D-Red, more. You think if we combine all of our maternal DNA together, we may be able to go and open a casino or a tobacco shop or one of these
I was
reservations?
about to bring that up.
Bro, yeah. Oh man, the moment my G said like he said 2%, I was like, bro, that's a million cats. You know what I'm saying? We that's a whole tribe right there. What you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That'd
But you
be,
was about to
that'd be
say,
smart.
yeah, real talk.
We need to open up a whole Albo, you know what I'm saying, casino in this piece. You know what I'm saying?
So that means I could open up. I can shoot dice in my basement with the fellas and put a casino sign in front of my crib, and it's tax free. Police can't
Yeah,
mess.
tax free. You heard?
No, that's a fact though. Like I'm being honest, bro. The federal government should acknowledge your maternal DNA or your paternal DNA if you're indigenous, because there are certain rights and certain benefits that are being given to people like this on the stream that come from fucking Poland, that come from Britain. They don't got nothing to do with indigenous ancestry. Meanwhile, you do got people that have everything to do with indigenous ancestry ain't getting shit. So the federal government, there need to be people in the ears of our politicians fighting and vouching for people that do have the mtDNA and do have the Y-DNA to get the same benefits that this motherfucker that got RL21. Come on, man. And all that shit, and all that stuff come from racism anyway. We dealt with that on the channel about Plecker. Plecker's list. His whole point was to say if you got one drop, that's where that one drop rule come from. One drop of black blood makes you not an Indian. That was the whole purpose of that. So those things need to be undone and rectified through the United States government, because the United States government is the one who created the fucking problem in the first place. So anyway, go ahead, y'all.
And the $5 Indians.
I want to say.
Need to exclude all the $5 Indians too. Bought their ancestry, was able to pay $5 and get on the indigenous American list, and they need to be absolved as well.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier about the Dawes Road. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but now it's funny. It's funny we talking about this. My great grandmother, like we got 150 acres of land in Terry, Mississippi, right? My great grandmother, they lived in Oklahoma, and they lived in the town adjacent to what we call Black Wall Street. She lived in the town next to it, and when the shit happened, where all of the the whole shit happened, because she was actually on the road and recognized, they was able to get the insurance money, and that's how they moved from Oklahoma to Terry, Mississippi, about 150 acres of land. So, like, my shit is on record. So, my shit is on record. That's how we got the land in Mississippi, 150 acres.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Right outside of Jackson. Yep, right outside of Jackson.
I know my B2B comes from South America. It's more than likely like Taino or something, because of the
well, Taino is usually C and D, because I think my wife is D.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you were plains Indian like us. A and B are usually Navajo, Apache, Kiowa, uh, Comanche, uh, that type of shit. So usually, uh, so you more likely with us. You know what I'm saying? Because really, the Navajo, Apache, Kiowa, they all really was one group. They all Athabascan speakers. You know what I'm saying? And they all really refer themselves as the Dene. You know what I mean? But they got broke. The Spanish broke them up into different quote unquote tribes as far as Apache, and then in different because we were just one tribe with different bands, and then the Spanish broke them up into actual different tribes, and then start calling some this group the Apache and this group this and this group that. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I say to you brothers, Yaate. But that means that's a greed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So my great grandmother taught me the greed. She taught me you know what I'm saying? She used to call me Shinale. You know what I'm saying? Her grandson. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I knew a little bit about the language. I know the cosmology. I know about the boy Apache who slayed the dragon to save his mother and his uncle. You know what I mean? I know all that shit. You know what I'm saying? All that shit.
My mom grew up on a Jicarilla reservation and whatnot. Like, so she grew up like speaking like English, Spanish, and a little bit of Apache and whatnot. So she taught me how to count a little bit in Apache. I can still say pass the salt in Apache and whatnot. I can say hello to a white person, a native, a Spanish person, just hello period and whatnot in Apache and whatnot. But we come from a Navajo ancestry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Navajo and Apache are basically
like you said, Athabascan and whatnot. For people who don't know, like they got the bastards up there by Alaska and whatnot, and it's a particular language group that's very unique, and so you don't see a lot of it in the Southwest and whatnot. But there's particular grouping of people that you see with it. You could tell that they was out there moving and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because they out there deep from Lake Athabasca. With me, I don't know about your admixture, whatnot, Shauna D. Red, but what's interesting with mine is I actually have like North American, Central American, and South American Native American ancestry on my autosomal.
Well, I was mostly North, and I had a small percentage of Central. But mine was mostly North American because I had Siouan groups too. I had the what's the name of that damn group? I got a headache, so I'm trying to think what's the name of that group. They were called the Welsh Indians, Mandan Sioux. You know what I'm saying? So I had Mandan in there too. So yeah.
Hey, D Red. So you saying that word man come from Native Indians?
No, Mandan, Mandan, Mandan. They call him the Welsh. I know he's silly. You know what I'm saying? But no, because they called him that because they had green eyes and blue eyes and shit like that. So that's when they got the whole Welsh settled America first shit started coming about, and they started talking about the Soltrian hypothesis and all that other shit. So,
the Abos might get a hold of the information and say, "Look, this is another marker that's showing that we all indigenous. Man is all across America in the hoods and the ghettos."
I was about to say, you're gonna have to straighten that out. Make sure you pronounce the name properly because people gonna run around talking about man India.
The man. You know what I'm saying?
You said Dan,
just like the Mandan, Mandan.
Dan, right? Okay, with a D.
You know what I'm saying? But even with the Micmac. Even with the Micmac, you know what I'm saying? The Micmac, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, we talking about the Big Mac Indians, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, we always been on some Mac shit, nigga.
Micmac Paddywhack.
Yeah, the Knick-Knack, the Knick-Knack Paddywhack Indians, nigga. We always been here, nigga. Where you think we got that from? You know what I mean? Yeah. Hell
Oh
yeah.
man,
So nah, man.
man.
So now we
Man,
gotta.
try.
So now we gotta. You know what I mean? Like I say, man. You know, when you try to be just keep it on the information to keep it without an agenda. You know, like I said, I get called if I'm on the Pan African channel, they call me a abo. If I'm on the abo channel, they call me a Pan African. So I was like, I can't win for losing. They're like, nigga, I don't subscribe to neither one of them perspectives. You know what I'm saying? I got my own perspective. I'm a Pan American.
But you know how we get
I got my
down.
own perspective.
You know how our community get down. We everything, baby.
I mean, well, shit, and some of us are.
Back.
I mean, the reality of the situation. Some of us are a little bit of everything.
Hey, Yashub, how much in your order songs do you have any order songs or snips that
I
go
think I got
back to
like 1% or something like that. Some crazy
Oh,
number.
okay,
Like
because I know
what?
Pops is Mexican, so or Afro Mexican, so I
My
figured y'all would
grandfather, but I only
right.
got like 1%.
Okay.
You know, ain't nothing significant.
Yeah, so you out the club.
He got a high.
No, when we
He
get this
probably got a high.
reservation, when we get this reservation popping, me, Moore, and D Red, you got to pay $5 in order to be part of the
Yeah,
group.
I'm not even
You gonna
included
get
in
$5.
that, man.
But
You get
no,
a
yeah,
five
you can
dollar
be a $5 member. You can be a $5 member, man. You know what I'm saying?
$5 Indian.
We accept all. You know what I'm saying? They just subscribe $5 a month. You know what I'm saying? $5 a month to feed a child. You know what I'm saying? So
You get half off. You get half off and free drinks at the casino. You understand what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm with it. But yeah, man, like that political action on that if you take it, because if you're already establishing that you're giving indigenous descendants benefits from the government, okay, well shit, these are again, just to go over this, these are African Americans that are literally descended right here. The Harry Keefe dude. Harry Keefe, QZ780, literally descends from native indigenous people, man. We ain't playing no games on that. So since the government's already giving funds for that and already rewarding people for that, then you need to include these people that are taking these DNA tests. It's just that simple. Look, Q780. Q780 is a subclade of Y DNA haplogroup QL54. Q780 is defined by the presence of Z780 SNP. QZ780 has descendants across much of the pre-Columbian Americas. It is the second most branch of QM242 in the Americas. The Anzac child who lived 12,600 years ago was found in the state of Montana as a Y chromosome as initially determined QL54. So this has been here for a while. And if we're going to start associating these, what the government's already been doing for indigenous people, free college and stuff like that, these are literally the children of indigenous people. They need to be given free college and tax incentives and all that good stuff. Go ahead, D-Rod. I see you. I thought you were trying to say something.
Yeah, hey, Q traveled a long way, man. From Eurasia all the way into the Americas, man. Q got a lot of mileage on it.
Yeah, man. Why you think that dude named himself Q-Tip? The rapper.
Did he do his excuse
knew.
my language. But then we don't have no he probably didn't do his DNA. We can't even find his.
No, I don't know. You know, I'm just messing around, man.
Q-Tip sounds like a Q-Tip could be like, like a tribal name, bro. For real.
Like man.
He from the tribe called Quest.
Hey, you making the connections, man. Somebody might clip that up and use it. Maybe the Abos might clip that up and use it on their channel, man, to prove their point.
Facts.
But you know, one more paper, man. I'm gonna be done with it. I think we drove the point home. This is the genetic legacy of African Americans from the Catterton Furnace. I've been over this paper a couple times, and you can actually see that, you know, within this furnace is showing admixture. This dark orange part here with indigenous Americans. So, the slave population was definitely mixing because that's the only way you get the autosomal admixture is you have to be mixing with these populations. You can see number 13, 2, and 1 of these samples. These people have segments of their DNA that correlate with indigenous Americans. The only way they can happen is through the act of sex. So that did happen. Let me go down and see if I get to the part where it explains that. Oh, right here, look. These assignments are correlated with QP Atom estimates and provide support for the identification of indigenous American ancestry in several CalSIN individuals. For instance, we infer low levels of indigenous American ancestry in 2 brothers from family A, but not in their mother, suggesting that their unsampled father had some indigenous American ancestry. So, African Americans, the point was driven home. Some African Americans do directly descend from Native Americans, and I think there should be political action driven behind this. If you do have a mitochondrial or paternal haplogroup that ties back to indigenous Americans, you should get some kind of funding. You should get the same rewards that these people that are really European, are getting, and you actually do descend from. So, with that, any closing arguments, anything you guys want to say before we get out of here? Not all at once.
Nah, I just want to say, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Tomahawks up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know I have some Plains Indians brothers. You know what I'm saying? We need to harness the spirit of Geronimo. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And continue this fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To make and I'm gonna send more. I'm gonna send you this paper. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you this other paper. This is for the Abos because they try to say that we are descendants of Chinese. The Plains Indians are descendants of the Chinese and the Filipinos that came over here because they'll talk about the Acapulco Manila Galleon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing some paperwork on that. So just in case they use it, you know what I'm saying? We the only group, you know what I'm saying, in North America. I think I said to shoot the paper. We the only group in North America that got what David Wright calls in his paper, you know what I'm saying, a population that actually has any relation to in our genetic DNA from the people of Oceania. We the only group in North America. You know what I'm saying? So when if they try to say any kind of crazy shit about us, they ain't, you know what I'm saying? I got something for them if they, you know what I'm saying, if they try to pull that stunt. So
yeah, I'm with it, but they can't say nothing crazy no way because like the Abos don't take DNA test anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
facts. Hey, yo, Moore, that's real though because we could probably use that. Me and Moore are supposed to do a presentation on Eurasian haplogroups that ended up paternal haplogroups and maternal haplogroups that ended up in the Americas. We were supposed to from Beringia down. We were supposed to do that a while ago. So maybe that paper we'll incorporate that paper as well into that particular presentation. So yeah, send that. I want to see it too.
Yes, sir.
So I mean we all mixed up, like people, everybody get to touching each other, over millennia, people traveling, migration patterns, people traveling, we get to touching each other, some is forced, some isn't, I have brung up. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just saying that some of it's co-jeweled. Like it's
Yeah.
natural,
Yeah,
They like each other. Yeah.
Exactly. We attracted to each other. So these things happen. I had brung up my mother's phenotype earlier because I just wanted to make it clear that something we always say is that phenotype is fluid. But my mother is a direct descendant of Aboriginal woman. Maternally. What else I want to say? And I brung up also, I know we're dealing with all of us here Well, not all of us. You know, three of us here maternally are connected to Aboriginals. But I brought up my grandfathers or my first cousins on my maternal side, you know, being all, you know, mostly haplogroup O, because again, you know, phenotypically, you wouldn't, you know, necessarily expect them to have that. Just like the Wayans family, you know, with, you know, being of Chinese descent. Um, you know, I just happened to be born to my maternal grandfather's daughter, who married a descendant of West African through the slave trade. So, you know, it could get really, really uh, complicated, you know, when you walk through the history, you know, your family history. I know everybody hears about their family history through, you know, grandmothers, grandfathers, great uncles, and they hear the story of the walk, you know. So earlier I had said, you know, that B2B might have been Taino. My brother just corrected me on that, but my family's walk through South America into, on my maternal side, through South America into the Caribbean, you know, this is why I made that assumption. But yeah, y'all stop playing games with this, with genetics and phenotypes, and start really digging into this really hard. Dig your heels in. I don't know if Pac listening. Pac, you need to do it too. Pacasino, where Pacasino at? He need to do it too, because this dude is really hard headed. He don't want to listen. He gets upset. You know, he got a real problem with genetics, which most Israelites and Abros and Pan-Africanists do, as well as Europeans. You know what I mean? Start digging, start really researching this stuff, and you'll start to be able to separate and figure out your personal walk, and not only your personal walk, but the community that you claim to be a part. You start to learn about the whole, you know, everybody's walk. I'll leave it at that.
Hey, Sean, you know that one.
Yep.
Hold on, D-Red. You know that one dude that come in the class at the last minute and then start questioning shit?
Yeah.
He's on the
That's
screen.
Pat.
No, that's Shy Son, man. Shy Son. If you would have been
Oh,
here from
okay.
the beginning or even in the middle, you would know that nobody's claiming that all black people are Aboriginal. You would know that.
Right.
You know, all
Well,
of my
they
Indian
just listen
connections
to.
are by the way of mixture. I don't know what you mean by that, because I got 3 people on the panel that directly descend from Native Indigenous women. So that's a direct ancestry. That's not indirect.
Yeah. I just think that people just need to really pay attention and stop going with the old arguments. You know, genetics play a very big part in, you know,
He said, I'm not questioning. Okay, read the title. That's what we were claiming all day. Some African Americans directly descend from Native Americans. That was the point of the video. We showed that. We proved that maternally and paternally, there are African Americans walking the earth right now that descend directly from indigenous American groups.
but that's what we've been showing people all the time, not just that descend from Aboriginals, but that directly descend from Europeans, directly descend from Asians, and you know, we've been pushing this, you know, well, beating people in the head for a minute now, and they just don't want to get it. They just, you know, they want to leave genetics out of it and go with just material culture, which is plastic.
Okay, they want
Phenotype,
to go
with
material
fluid.
culture, Shot?
Yeah,
When the
with
last
fluid.
time y'all had maple syrup on your pancakes? So that's some indigenous American shit. So okay, we want to go by culture. Everybody Native American. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, and
phenotype is fluid. Everybody want to go by phenotype and material culture, and you know what I'm saying. And we practice all kind of things. Once your people mix with the dominant force, you know, if a population takes over an area and they're the dominant force, you know, you're gonna pick up their culture, regardless to what your culture was prior to that. So genetics really, really helps in all of this historical, all of these historical stones that we keep trying to turn over, or the community, not just our community, but the world, period. Anybody that's into like, history and putting out videos and writing books and all of this, genetics play a big part. It will straighten out a lot of the nonsense that's going on in these discussions.
Yeah, but I think that we've been saying this all day, that we try to put everybody in the same box. We try to tell people who they are. This why, like I said, people get mad and say I don't tell people who they are because I don't know. I don't know what your genetics say. I don't know who you descend from. Just by looking at you, I can't tell you who you are and where you descend from. Just by looking at you, you can't tell. He said that's why I use my boy Calvin all the time. He looks like the average nigga that you see in the hood walking around doing regular nigga shit. But his genetics take him back to goddamn Oceania.
You was about to
Exactly.
say,
They just do
you was
it.
about to say regular man shit.
Shut your ass up. Now, what I'm saying, when you see him, you think that he's just a regular, but he is from Oceania. That's where he from. That's what his haplogroup say. Autosomally, like I said, the horizontal distance matrix, he leans more closer to that group. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
just where he descend from. You see what I'm saying? He said that that's where he
Culturally,
descend
but
from.
I think what I'm hearing is culturally he follows American Negro culture,
Culture, yeah.
Americana. It's plastic. It's plastic. Like I'm saying, it's culture is plastic. I'm saying phenotype is fluid. Like, people are not getting that genetics again. I'm gonna say it one more time. One more time for everybody in the cheap seats. All right. Genetics play a big part. Genetics is a game changer when you start reading genetics, start studying genetics, I should say, and you go back and you start going through all of the stuff that you've been reading on culture and language, and all of the language is plastic. Everything is, until you get to the bottom of it, genetics is the bottom. That tells you exactly where you came from, what your walk was. I'll leave it at that.
Oh
We
man,
gotta
I
understand that
want this
though.
brother to click the link. I want Shy Son to click the link, man.
He God body?
I don't know what he is.
Shy Son, he might be God body. You God body?
Is this Rob Bourne burner account?
Nah.
It's
Shy
all
Son,
good
he
though. I'm
cool. He
saying
be
just
he
come
be he
up. Ain't
be
nobody gonna embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? Just come up, like you know what I'm saying. And because we trying to get rid of these old arguments, man. We be making these, our community, African American community, we're making all sorts of claims. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is from very old arguments, extremely old arguments. Trying to pull ourselves out of the bottom of the barrel, trying to make claims in certain areas that we may not necessarily have claim to, or we may have claim to, but you can't do it unless you do your own DNA, and then you can really walk through how you ended up, or your family ended up being a part of this culture or that culture or whatever.
Right. Shy Son says, and I'm saying that's by way of mixture. You just said a mother, not a mother and a father. I actually did bring up paternal and maternal. I don't know what you mean there. Nor did you say their whole family was Indians before they were born. Who's making that claim? And the people that are considered Indians, their whole family is not Indians. We just showed their DNA. There's a lot of European integration there, maternally and paternally.
Facts. The
So
same thing they did to us.
nobody would fit in that category, Shy Son. We're talking about direct descendants. And if you're a direct descendant, your empty DNA going to be, congruent with that of a Native Indigenous American, or paternally. I just showed him. Let me show him again. Let me help your brother out because he just came into class late. And now I'm gonna have to give him a homework assignment.
Direct descendancy, tells you your walk. Autosomally, you can tell who you mixed with. You know what I'm saying? Who your paternal or your maternal people mixed with. Autosomally, you can tell, who they touched, and you know what I'm saying, what populations, or geographically what areas they may have touched over the years, over the centuries, or over millennia. well, over the centuries, I would say, because autosomal doesn't necessarily go back that far if you stay in one population for a certain amount of, centuries, a certain amount of time. But your paternal and maternal haplogroup is going to tell you where you originated from.
Okay, so Shah Sun says, so does his DNA? I'm gonna show you an example right here. This is an African American male here. I'm gonna show you. His DNA goes back to this guy named Harry Keefe that was born around 1832 in North Carolina. He has QZ780. I want you to follow me because I just went over this, right? I'm gonna do it again. This is my labor of love, brother. QZ780. This is the wiki article. This is not no secret mumbo jumbo stuff. You don't got to sacrifice a damn goat and join the Illuminati to learn this. You can go on Wikipedia and look up these clades. QZ780 is a subclade of Y DNA haplogroup QL54. QC780 has descendants across much of the pre-Columbian Americas. That means this man, that's African American man that we pulled from the family tree DNA database, directly descends from ancient Americans, brother, ancient indigenous Americans. It goes on to say this, that this is a major American clade right here. It is the second most common branch of QM242 in the Americas. The Anzac child, who lived 12,600 years ago, it was found in the state of Montana, has a Y chromosome that was initially determined to QL54, ancestor M3. But it's now assigned along with the modern Native American sample to a subclade of QZ780. QC780. So he has deep ancestry in the Americas. He directly descends from it. This had nothing to do with his autosomal admixture. This had everything to do with what man's ball sack he come from. And that man, or group of males, comes from indigenous Americans. Any way you try to slice it and chop it, this is the reality.
Hey, it's true. Maybe you should pull up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I could tell. Let me say this first. I could tell by the way he spelled African that the brother is, he's conscious. That's the conscious way of spelling African. He may be a Pan-Africanist. I don't know, but
Or he
maybe you should pull up a pheno. Maybe you should pull up.
Let's take the C out, put the K.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Why don't you pull up a human phylogenetic tree, Y chromosome, show them exactly where Q falls or the indigenous populations fall, so they could see where they branch off at. And you could do it with the mtDNA too. Maybe that'll help give him an overview. So he's, instead of looking up the tree, he can look down the tree. If that makes sense to you.
And to Shah Sun's question, Shah Sun, I'm majoritively sub-Saharan African, right? 45 to 50%, depending on whatever test I take, right? Then next comes a Southern European ancestry, roughly around a third, depending on whatever test I take, right? Then comes my Native American ancestry. That's my smallest bit of ancestry. But yet that's where I get my maternal haplogroup from. So your haplogroup isn't going to necessarily come from your largest bit of autosomal ancestry. That's a fallacy. A lot of people trying to make that equivalency, and that's not how DNA works in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, Yeshua, I was going to say, highlight that last comment that he just made. We're just trying to explain to you, bro, that autosomal, even if most of that, the brother's DNA points, most of his autosomal DNA points to Africa, any point in Africa. His Y chromosome or his, I'm not sure which person he's talking about here, Yeshua, but I believe that the brother has an indigenous Y chromosome or mtDNA chromosome. That who he's talking about, who you were talking about earlier, that he's pointing out right now, that he keeps asking about this specific brother.
Oh, let me chime in. No, brother, the percentages is admixture. No, the percentages that what you keep quoting is admixture. That is not what you are. That is admixture. The maternal and paternal DNA is what you are. He just more eloquently broke it down. The womb that he comes from is of an indigenous American womb. That's what your maternal
direct
DNA is showing.
descendancy. Yes, that's direct descendancy. Admixtures who, you know, your foremothers or this person's foremothers may have bumped into on their journey throughout their original point, migration point. I'll let Yeshua finish it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, it don't work like that, champ. I can't let you do that, shot son. Listen, brother, it does work like that. What do you think a percentage is? Admixture. Why do you even have a percentage? Because it's showing you a mixture. This is the lunacy of some of these arguments with they don't understand autosomal. What is autosomal test? All right, let's just have a basic conversation real quick. Because, you know, obviously you're struggling with this. What's another word for autosomal admixture testing? I mean, autosomal testing is admixture testing, right? So let me give you a visual. Autosomal DNA test. Let me see if I can get you a pictorial.
Yeah, because you might need picture. What's that? What's that?
You might need some picture pages. Picture pages.
Picture pages.
Bill Cosby's
Bro, you
picture.
gotta start reading. Shot. Start reading. Start reading some of these studies. Start learning. Not even just the studies. Just get books on what admixture is, Y chromosome, MT, direct and indirect lineages. You really need to start from there.
Hey, didn't I address this in the beginning of the video? This is one of them niggas. You're coon. You're coon. I'm African on both my sides. These brothers descend from Native Indigenous Americans. You can't change their DNA because it doesn't fit with your POV.
And we're all yapping that, bro. Like, so we don't deny that we come from African males, fam.
Exactly.
We don't deny that, but we don't deny that we come from Native American females either.
Right. And how these African men would have ended up with these Native American women.
Right.
By way of migration or forced migration.
Facts.
That's how we would have ended up. And anything in the middle is who your people touched on their way to their point or the point that you're at now.
Mm-hmm.
Your geographical point that you're at now.
Hey, there's two forms of stupidity, right? One form is ignorance. Which I think is what we're dealing with here. I'm not going to insult the brother, but
right.
Then there's two forms. Hold on, there's two forms of knowledge too, right? It's two forms. It's got people that are Ratchet Craig. If you watch it, you know what I'm talking about. You got some people that is, you know, just ignorant. Then you got people that are too dumb to know that they're wrong. Here's the thing here, and it's not your fault. It's the internet. It's social media. It's these people that are these giants that are pushing this Africanity on you and not pushing diversity. Look at the stream, brother. Autosomal DNA is the DNA you inherit from all your ancestors. All your ancestors. Not just the ones you directly descend from. This is why you can't use it to say, oh, this is who I am, and this is the group of people I come from. No. All these people in between.
Hey, yo, Yeshua, real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off. Just take your cursor and show them the direct line of the maternal, show them the direct line of the paternal, and then make a big circle in that triangle of all the admixture. I'm sorry. Just for him to get it. I'm sorry, I didn't cut you.
I'm about to help the brother out, man. Everybody in between, you do not descend from. You did not come from the ball sacks of your maternal grandfather or great-great-grandfather. Everybody, if we go even further, if we go 5, 6, 7, 8 generations, you don't. You said direct line of pink. Those are the women you come from. You came out of your mother's womb. You didn't come out of your paternal grandmother's womb. And on your paternal side, you got a straight line of males. That's where you come from. If you have a child with a Japanese person, your children's autosomal admixture is going to be 50% as the Japanese parent and 50% similar to you. They have grandkids. Let's say they have grandkids with European. That your DNA autosomal contribution is going to drop each generation. But those are still your grandkids, Dodo. Those are still your grandkids. learn. Let's learn DNA, bro. Let's learn. Let's learn it. We'll be here. We'll do the lives for you. We'll walk you through it. Okay. You keep
It
bringing up
takes patience.
admixture. You don't understand admixture. It can be your lowest percentage, but you still want to be directly if your haplogroup. What matter of fact, what is your haplogroup, Shah son? What is your maternal and paternal haplogroups? You don't understand the mix because the mix is the autosomal DNA. Every time you say the word mix, you're talking about autosomal DNA, bro. The percentages, autosomal DNA. See, you're dealing with autosomal DNA. No, we're not dealing with autosomal DNA. I'm going to walk you through it one more time. You get Y DNA from your father, brother. You get mtDNA from your mother. This is sexual reproduction 101. That Y DNA travels from your sperm, and the Y DNA is injected into the egg. The mtDNA is inside the egg, and that's what you inherit if you're a male. If you're a female, you're going to inherit mtDNA. That's it. This is how we track male and paternal ancestry. This has nothing to do with percentage. This has nothing to do with autosomal admixture. This has everything to do with who you directly descend from, whether male or female. You still bringing up percent. Why y'all acknowledging the low? No, you can have 0 Native Indigenous American ancestry and still be directly descendant of a Native American. I'm trying to help you out, brother.
So look, so the brother's still there. Hopefully he's paying attention. So you see on your far right, right? Because we're looking at the screen. Your far right, that's your maternal, right? And you see all of the women are in, your shoe said pink, but I see red, right? That is your direct line of maternal DNA. On the opposite side, to your far left, you have your paternal line, which is in all blue, and they highlighted you as being green, or the last descendant as being green. Those are your direct lines. Anything in the middle are people your family mixed with. That's not your, this is why your percentage is so high in autosomes, because you have all of those people in the middle making up your autosomes. That's as far as I'm gonna go with it. I'm hoping you understand what I'm saying. Anybody else want to tag on or add on to that?
He's still going into percentages. We're not dealing with autosomal admixture. We're not.
Bro, that is your percentage in the middle. In the middle is your percentage. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna let you shoot. Keep going.
Here's another pictograph for you, man. Visual aid. We're gonna educate you visually. Y chromosome DNA is inherited from your male lineage. That's what we're dealing with. This is not percentage. You don't inherit a percentage of Y chromosome. You get a Y chromosome. That's not a percentage. Autosomal is your admixture. That's your percentages. That's why people have Japanese ancestry, European ancestry, autosomally, at West African, North African, East African, Chinese, what have you, right? Southeast Asian. That's going to be the middle column. And then mitochondrial is where you get a direct maternal line. That's the womb you came from. The Y chromosome is the nutsack you came from. So if a man has a QZ780, this is not a percentage. This is a haplogroup. This is the Y chromosome. This is what defines him as a male. That is coming from a man, early ancestral Indian of Native American stock. That's where it's coming from, right? A lot of African Americans have it on the mitochondrial side. I mean, they great grandmother, their direct grandmother would be indigenous American. This has nothing to do with autosomal admixture or percentages. He's going to keep bringing up percentage. I'm beating it in your head right now. That has nothing to do with your admixture.
Hey, Yeshua, I'm gonna try one more thing here. I'm sorry, I know you're trying to showcase something for the brother. I need to add this too. So your mother's, you're a male son. What's his name? Shah son. Shah son. You're a male, right? So you do not directly descend, like you do not carry the Y chromosome of your mother's father. Your mother's father, which is your grandfather, is in your autosomes, but you do not directly descend from him. You do not carry his Y chromosome, his paternal line. Whose line you carry is your father's Y chromosome, which was his father's Y chromosome, which was his father, which would put us to your great grandfather or your grandfather, your great grandfather's Y chromosome. That's your direct line. If you have a sister, well, let's stay on the male side. I'm just gonna, because I don't want to overwhelm you. All right, because we're trying to walk you through this. Your mother's father is your grandfather, but he is in your autosomes. You do not carry his Y chromosome. You carry your father's Y chromosome, not your mother's father. I'm hoping this, you're trying to do this like, quick. I'm hoping that you could get the picture. So anything so your mother's father would be in your admixture. Yes, he is your grandfather, meaning, that's your direct grandfather. There is no other grandfather on your mother's side, but you do not carry his Y chromosome. You carry your father's Y chromosome, which is his father's Y chromosome. I sound like I'm repeating myself. I'm hoping that you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, the chromosome that's responsible for creating you a man, that doesn't come from your autosomal admixture. It comes from your sex cells. Do I need to teach you what sex cells are?
Your
Maybe I
Y
need to show them that.
chromosome, your father, your Y chromosome is what makes you a male. All right, like what I'm saying, your Y.
I think we lost them. Sean, you there? You there, Sean? You're breaking up. If you're there, brother, you're breaking up. Let me help him out. Maybe just go all the way to the basics because you were breaking up, brother. You there? You back?
I'm back, but go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to help this brother out, man. Sex cells. These sex cells are also called reproductive cells or gametes. This is how we track male, and this is not percentage. You don't get a percentage of this. You either have it or you don't. Sperm cells are produced in men's testicles. I'm hoping you understand that. I got to do this basics. I keep saying this on every show. We got to teach basic. Like, we got to go straight to the basics and the building blocks of this stuff. Because he obviously is struggling and not understanding the difference between autosomes, which is your other chromosomes, and your sex chromosome. He don't know. So let me just take my time and show him. You know that thing that impregnates a woman, sperm, that carries your Y DNA. So when you have somebody that has a QZ780 marker on their Y chromosome, we know what group of males they came from directly. We're not talking autosomal admixture. That stuff is fluid. It changes rapidly. Because again, you get 50% of that from one parent, 50% from the other parent. You have kids, your kids are not going to be the same autosomal admixture as you. That does not tell you direct ancestry. That just tells you admixture. Sperm cells are produced in men's testicles and egg cells are produced in women's ovaries. Sex cells are different from other cells in one special way. Put simply, they only have 1/2 of the total amount of human genetic information. All right, so now we know what sex cells are. All right, do I got to walk you through reproduction and how you have a Y chromosome and what that comes from? Maybe we need to tell you what a haplogroup is. This is not percentage. You either have it or you don't. This is not, you keep inflating autosomal admixture with haplogroup ancestry. Do I need to teach you that? What is a haplogroup? I always go to ISOGS The International Society of Genetic Genealogy, their definition, a haplogroup is a genetic population group of people who share a common ancestor on the patrilineal or the matriline. How do we know this? The patriline is going to be the Y DNA. Where does Y DNA come from? How is it transmitted? Through your sperm, through the act of sex. Where's the empty DNA coming from? The mother, through her eggs, through her ovaries. This is how we trace ancestry. The other chromosomes is going to give you the information of everything in between. So just as we said in the beginning of this video, some African Americans directly descend from Native Americans. How do we know this? By looking at their sex chromosomes. You can have 0% Native Indigenous American ancestry. Why? Because autosomal admixture is a small snapshot. Do I got to go over that too, Sean, for him? Matter of fact, let me bring that up.
You might have to, yeah, because it's only 500 years. But while you pull it up, what you get ready to pull up, let me say something. I got to, just to see if he's paying attention. So, Shasan, I need you to answer a question for me. I'm going to give you a quick test. If you have a son, I'm assuming you may have a son. You might be of age where you have a son. If you have a son right now, does your son directly descend from your father or his mother's father? Both his grandparents, right? Because he would have a grandparent on the mother's side, which is your baby's mother or your wife's father, and your father, the two grandfathers. Who does he directly descend from, and who would be in his admixture? Can you answer that real quick while Yeshua was looking, just to see if you're paying attention to what we're saying? Maybe posing a question to you like that would, light a fire under you and get you to thinking. You have a son. Who does your son directly descend from? Which grandfather does he directly descend from? Your father or his mother's father, his two grandfathers? Can you answer that real quick? And if you don't know, just put I don't know so we can move on and we can explain some more.
Hey, this is why we gotta teach. This is why we gotta teach basics. We can't always go into these deep dive videos and try to take them to the deep end when they don't know how to swim in shallow water yet. This brother's obviously drowning, and it's okay because we're gonna be here to throw that lifeboat.
But he wants to qualify as a lifeguard.
Yeah, but he wants to.
He wants to get that summer job. He wants to get that summer job down in Florida. He wants to get that summer job down in Florida as a lifeguard, but can't swim in the shallow.
Oh man, yeah, you gotta reach these benchmarks. You gotta understand that autosomal ancestry ain't the same as maternal and paternal ancestry. You keep saying, oh, but percentage. No, you're going with the low. No one's even considering percentage. I don't think throughout this whole conversation that we ever bring up percentage of anything. We stuck with direct ancestry the entirety of the video. That was the point.
Did he answer the question yet that I posed to him? Is he still there? It's a simple question.
I don't see him. He probably got offended,
Yeah.
Maybe I offended.
Maybe.
Well, the thing is, we brought up percentage, but we didn't bring up percentage for the reason he's bringing it up. We just give a percentage to give a general overview of our complete genetic profile of what was in our admixture, or AKA our autosomal DNA. The problem is a lot of people, and Chason's a good brother, so I know I've been on panels with him. He's a good brother, but the problem is a lot of the people that teach genetics, and they will teach genetics from a perspective of your autosomal being most important. So when people go to those platforms and they hear that, they have a misconstrued perspective of genetics. You kind of see what I'm saying? So it ain't these brothers' fault.
I agree
You see what I'm
with you.
saying?
I agree with you.
They're listening to people who don't really understand genetics either. They don't understand the distance matrix. I've been trying to teach people about that for years. About the distance matrix. It shows you who you're more closely related to. You know what I'm saying? You could be more closely related to this group, that group, all of these groups is within your genetic profile. You can be haplogroup E, but more closely related to a European.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? You can be haplogroup E, but be more closely related to West African. You can be haplogroup E, be more closely related to Native American. It just shows you who you're more closely related to. You know what I'm saying? Admixture. You know what I'm saying? Your admixture profile, your percentages are going to usually match up with your autosomal makeup. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but they don't really grasp the concept. So, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? And it's not because it's not their fault. It's the people that they listening to fault who teaching it don't really understand genetics. You see
I
what I'm
Right.
agree.
But
saying?
I don't
So
want to take them. I don't want to take them. I don't want to take them off completely off the frying pan. And hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying is because he, as a grown man, even though he's being taught or listening to people that don't have a proper understanding, he should be at the age that he is supposed to be able to go and research this stuff himself before he open his mouth again and repeat or regurgitate what he's been learning. You have to proof everybody. Same thing that we was going to do with Aaron L. Hike. Everybody in the community is pushing Aaron L. Hike because of the Ashkenazi Jews and their Khazars. Nobody wants to proof his work. Nobody wants to take the time and go through the studies and look for the markers. Sit down, go through the markers and see who would be Khazars and who would be Bronze Age Levantines. Nobody wants to do it. They want to be lazy. They want other people to do the work for them. So I hear what you're saying, D-Red, and I respect what you're saying because that is part of the problem, but that's not the whole problem. The other part of the problem is that these dudes don't want, or not just dudes, sisters too. They don't want to do the work. They want to be told stuff and then they run and regurgitate it and make themselves look like fools. And that's not to
but I think
disparage this brother Shah's son. I'm not trying to say like he is a fool because he sounds like a brother that wants to learn. So I'm not saying he is a fool, but when he regurgitates other people's work without proofing it, he sounds like a fool.
Yeah, this was foolish right
well,
here.
I understand that.
Hold on,
I
D-Red.
understand that. Good.
Yeah, I want to say this was foolish right here because how many times I said throughout the duration of this video that culture and customs don't got nothing to do with your ancestry. You know, Shashan, you probably practice a very European, American-centric culture. That don't got nothing to do with who you come from, what ball sack you came from, or what womb you came from. Go ahead, D-Red.
No, I mean because I think the reality of the situation is when we come to genetics, man. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, we're gonna have to start from the beginning. Like we really gonna have to start from you know
But
what I'm
that's
saying? And
why
it
your
ain't no
shoe.
disrespect to you know what I'm
But that's
saying?
why
And
your
I think
shoe
it's
said that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, D-Red. You know I
no.
respect
That's
you.
it's
I'm
cool, Sean.
sorry.
We just chopping it up
Yeah,
because
you know.
and when we start with genetics, we gonna have to start with methodology because a
But that's why
lot
your
of
shoe
people in
stopped.
the community.
But that's why your shoe stopped. And all of us, not just Yeshua, because Yeshua is just on the platform regularly. So he said it first, but we all had this discussion, some time ago. We were, in our private discussions. That's why we stopped pushing in our work a lot of Israelite doctrine, which we're all Israelites, because nobody wants to go to the basics. They want to take the work that we do, like this brother Shah is doing right now, take the work that he hears from other people and then pseudo the shit up. And we've been saying for a long time, you know what? We're going to stop making Israelite or BHI arguments. You guys need to learn the basics first. And then once y'all catch on, then we could go into making arguments for who possibly could be Israel or who isn't Israel. But until y'all catch up, and we're still stuck here because people are saying, we don't talk Bible. We don't talk this. They want to hear us talk what they want to hear us talk. No, You need to learn first before we move on to the next step. We did that already. Y'all took the work and y'all was running around with it and being crazy pseudo. And what we're trying to do is right the direction of old habits and old arguments here on this channel or on any of our platforms, all the channels that we have. And the brothers and sisters will hear what we say and say, well, the Yap Gang said this, because we'll go into a forum and they said the Yap Gang said that the Natufians, they found E1B1A and amongst the Natufians. And then we're like, no, we never said that. That means you're not really listening. You're listening, but then you're taking the work and making new arguments for yourself when you go onto other platforms or you go to battle other people, and then you look foolish because those people will tell you that you're wrong. But then you're making us look bad at the same time because you're taking the work and you're pseudoing it up, and it's making the Yap Gang look like we're doing nonsense over here. So that's why we stopped making biblical arguments to a degree. We just want you to learn the basics of genetics first, and then we can move forward. We did that already. We tried to mix apples and oranges before. Now we see we have to separate the apples and the oranges. I'm sorry.
I would just like to point out that the EU 290 cats on the panel woke up and chose violence today. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. EU 290.
EU
Too grimy, you already know.
them iron smelters, baby. Them iron smelters.
Hey, and I don't get that from no percentage, nigga. Percentage. Get the look, man. Like, yo, I can't understand people that purposely. It's like a straw man, so to speak. But I know he's not doing it on purpose. So let me just retract that for a minute. He confused.
That's all it is. You're right. He's just confused.
He's confused.
Yeah. We're trying to help him out. That's all. And don't take it in the wrong way, bro. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm sorry. I ain't gonna cut you off.
You know, as many times I kept saying I'm not talking about autosomal DNA. Well, I'm talking about percentage. I'm like, okay, we're not talking about percentage. He just kept bringing it up. He not understanding, bro. And then I had to bring it all the way back to Genesis. You know, he want to start Revelation. Nah. We're going to Genesis. Do you understand sex cells? Let's start there. Do you understand sexual reproduction? I will walk you through all this stuff. How you inherit these genes, I will walk you through it. The percentage of, since you want to bring a percentages, where these autosomes come from, your other chromosomes, I will walk you through each part till you get it. D-Red brought up he got 3% Japanese. Does that mean he descend from a Japanese person? No. That means somewhere along his tree, within the last 500, 300 years, somebody had sex with a person with Japanese ancestry.
All right, let's not disrespect our Japanese Yap brothers.
Nah, you know, all day.
All day, Yap.
Yap, you know what I'm saying? I love samurai culture. Fuck these niggas talk about. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we the Yap Gang and we putting people on the hibachi grill.
We Japanese still. You understand?
How you say the whole thing?
Japanese still. You can cook in front of your family like a Japanese meal. Hey, but let's check this out. Check this out, man. If you need help with this, I'm gonna be here to help you. You need resources, I'm gonna give you the resources. If you need to understand autosomal DNA testing, I'll do a whole, even though we did it before, I'll do it again. I'll do a whole live just breaking down autosomal DNA and what it actually means and denotes. You got people that claim to be doing DNA long before I did, long before I touched it, saying stuff that is egregious. Your haplogroup only 0.1%.
Not just egregious, but irresponsible.
Irresponsible. Thank you. Another great attribute.
Well, I mean, but it's because that's what I'm saying. It's because these people, because I know exactly what you're talking about. These people are considered experts. So what ends up happening is when you tell them your haplogroup, what they'll be on panel saying is what you just said. That you have a group that only makes up this. But if we're talking about line of descent, that's the only thing to talk about. Where you descend from, that's your line of descent. That's a direct line. But what they'll tell those people is, yeah, but what do you mix with? See, this is where this one particular person that I know who you're talking about is considered the expert. So how does that work? You see what I'm
What they
saying?
say right after that. They say right after that. So what is your percentage? Then you black. What is your percentage? Then you black. It don't make a difference. You still
Mhm.
African. You black. Like you know what I'm saying? It
That's my
reverts
point.
back
That's
to
my
the
point.
nonsense.
That's my point.
Reverts back to the nonsense. Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? But this person has been labeled the expert. You see the problem?
Yeah. We don't claim to be experts. We just claim to be well read. If you want to be an expert, anybody out there listening, then do some reading. Really learn the science. Really
This is
learn the
what
material.
this is what Shy Son said. This is what they say all the time because they're not studied and they're not read, don't understand the damn discussion that we're having. Now y'all playing semantics to get out of being African. And I said this earlier. I'm a prognosticator, Sean. I'm a shit.
Say
I
it
can
again. Say
predict
it
some
again.
shit.
Say
You
it
hear me?
again, bro. Say it again. Say it again.
I am a prognosticator, bro.
All
I
right.
said in the beginning of this video. When you bring up these type of ancestries to Afrocentrics and Africanists, the first thing they're gonna say is you hate yourself. You just don't want to be black.
And they run
And
to
that's why I
Austin.
asked Shy Son, what is it haplogroups? He didn't tell me yet.
And it's a quick Google search. It's a quick Google search. Autosomes don't
Because I
last
guarantee
long
you, he
unless
do a DNA test, he probably not African. And what's gonna happen? He gonna deny his He's gonna deny whatever
no,
that
he gonna
clade
say
is.
no, he gonna say African because his autosomes, the percentage of his
Right.
autosomes
To
is gonna
get
be mostly African.
around what ball sack he come from, what people that he actually come from.
He might be a paternal descendant of a European.
He might be Kevin G. We showed you Kevin G's DNA.
Yeah. Or he might be
Maternally,
maternally
and
and
paternally.
paternally. Yes, but mostly African in autosomes. That doesn't tell you where you come from. Your autosomes don't tell you your migration path and your origin point. It doesn't tell you that. But it is a part of your ancestry. It is a part of your ancestry, but not deep ancestry.
You can use it in the second and third degree level. You got cousins. But that don't mean that they directly descend from the same group of people you descend from.
That's
Your
why I
cousin,
brought that up earlier. The shoe, most of on my maternal side, all the males, the majority, that's 90% of the males on my maternal side is haplogroup O. Asian. They're Asian. Haplogroup O. And they dark, nappy headed, some got curly hair, they're haplogroup O. They are the product of my maternal grandfather's sons, which is my mother's brothers. And it's no disparaging them. Those are my cousins. You know what I'm saying? I love them to death. I don't look at them and say, nigga, you not African. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I'm sorry I used the word. I'm sorry I used that word.
no, you good. No, we gonna keep it raw
But
on my
right,
channel.
but the point is that like I got first cousins that are not directly descended from the ball sack I came from. I'm haplogroup E. I'm EU290. All right. I come from a direct descendant of African, West African slaves in this country.
Yeah. You and I go back to the same pool of males. You and I, we both go back to EU290.
Right.
Right? We might have autosomes that's similar with somebody that's R1, RS116 or something like that, but that ain't my kin.
Right.
He not.
And even
But y'all just look at percentages because like D-Red said, y'all following these people that make autosomal of ultimate importance because they
Yeah,
want to
I
continue
100%
this
agree.
idea that we not diverse, and we are diverse. To touch on his comment, he said playing semantics. No, you're playing semantics. You're playing with words. We're showing genetics. You're playing with words.
Right. You're trying to make it fit
And African American
your
people are different, and they
POV.
are unique because we are a composite of different lineages, not just one goddamn thing.
Right.
Go ahead.
He's moving the goalposts. Shah Sun is moving the goalposts to his POV, his point of view. He's moving it to his point of view. That's not how this works. This does not work by your point of view. Learn the science, read it, you'll understand it better. Something else I want to say. We're going back to my first cousins. Me and my first cousins autosomally, right? Like I got cousins that took 23andMe autosomally, and well, I'm talking about my male cousins, first cousins. Autosomally, they come back as either my first or second cousin, and 23andMe points to them as my direct cousins, but we're not directly descended from the same paternal group. Does that make sense? I know I'm making sense, but to the audience, I'm hoping that makes sense. You know, 23andMe, if you take a 23andMe, they're always, you know, they'll tell you who your family members are, or distant family members, or people that share your Y chromosome, and this, that, and third. My cousins come back very close to me, first to second cousins, mostly as second cousins because of their Y chromosome. The Y chromosome puts them into the second cousin category when they're actually my first cousins as we see it. They are my mother's sisters or brothers' children, which makes them my first cousins. But on 23andMe, it'll either say first or second cousin.
Yeah, man. We actually, let me read this real quick. We gotta educate, bro, because again, on the basics, what is autosomal testing? I've been in this book till a nauseum on the channel. You know, I know a lot of you guys don't like to read, and that's where some of these problems stem from. Because y'all want to read your damn selves. I just want to keep enforcing your doctrine or your ideology. Let the evidence mold your ideology, not the other way around. Anyway, so within this book, it says the other major differences between autosomal DNA and Y DNA is the autosomal DNA has a limited range. It can look back about 5 to 8 generations on average. So real quick, with that being said, the people that lived in the 1800s, hell, your grandfather could have been completely different autosomally than you are. That's still your goddamn grandfather. This is how silly we're getting with this, bro. Like, this is just getting silly at this point. While Y-DNA essentially looks back in an unlimited number of generations, Y-DNA, empty DNA as well, your sex chromosomes, you can see that's going back all the way to the beginning of humans. You can see that. It says, since the autosomal DNA that you inherit drops by 50% for each ancestor every generation back in time, you only inherit about 3% of your DNA from any one of your 32 ancestors from 5 generations back. So it does vary. Only about 1.5% of your 64 ancestors 6 generations back, and less than 1% of any ancestors from older generations than that. Those small percentages of DNA very quickly become too small for useful analysis. Also, since DNA recombines in larger chunks rather than tiny pieces starting about 5 generations back, you may not inherit any DNA from certain ancestors. So some ancestors you're not going to get autosomal DNA from. You're not always guaranteed. This is not, again, cloning. This is not, cookie cutter science. You can't just, Oh, well, my dad got it, I got it, my grandfather. No, that's not how DNA works. It's a randomized process. And this is why we got to take our time and explain to y'all what sexual reproduction is. We gotta spoon feed you this stuff because you don't know. It's obvious. It's obvious the things you're saying, that stuff that's coming out your mouth, what you're typing in the comments, you don't understand. Anyway, like I said earlier, you can have 0% Native Indigenous ancestry and still be a direct descendant of Native Americans. I said that earlier. How do you know this? The Y-DNA, mtDNA. Anyway. Hey, Sean, how much sub-Saharan African DNA do you have? If you're still on the panel. I think that brother's 70% if he's still here. But anyway, they don't tell you shit about his maternal DNA because maternal DNA is B2. It goes on to say, in the percentage of ancestors that did not contribute anything to your DNA increases dramatically from there going further back in history. Y-DNA, on the other hand, is very different. It's limited to one line of your ancestry only, but can see mutations from hundreds of thousands of years back on that line. So hopefully somebody is learning something. You know, I don't know how many times I read this to the people. If you need me to do an entire video, I will do it. Because y'all need to be educated on this, man. No, they just hate being black. No, you just don't like to read. And you need to be educated on the topic. That's all that is. You need to be educated. Shah Son, I'm talking directly to you. And I gave you the invite to come on the panel. Black people are diverse. I don't know how many times I got to say this. They're not one goddamn thing, Shah Son. That's a racial purist argument. That's a 17th, 18th century argument. It comes from white racist rednecks and Nazis. And you sound just like them. Why? Because you don't know the information. Go ahead.
Right. And even if you don't want to embrace, all of your ancestry, fine. You don't have to embrace all of your ancestry, whether it's European, Indigenous American, Asian, African, and this is outside our community now. I'm making a statement too. You don't have to embrace any of it, but what you do have to do is understand it. You ain't got to embrace shit, but understand it and recognize and accept it. Are you?
Here's the thing. You can not acknowledge any of this. Reality is still going to be reality. Some of y'all believe you're on a flat disc. That ain't gonna change reality. You can not believe in oxygen. Oh, I can't see oxygen. How you still breathing? So we're talking about reality here. This transcends your doctrine, your ideology. This is how humans work. This is how animals work. This is how life forms work. People have sex, pass down their genes to the next generation. And we can trace that through the sex chromosome. I'm going to say this again for you, Shah Son, if you watch it. Sex chromosomes. We're not talking about the other autosomes you get. Sex chromosomes. Because if we talk autosomally, what's this? All humans are 99.6%. Look at this. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. Check this out. It's the smallest parts of our DNA that makes us distinct. In reality, any two people's genomes are on average approximately 99.6% identical and 0.4% different. It's the small, little, minute portions of our DNA, like your sex chromosomes, that make us distinct. Okay. Here it is. The latter percentages reflect both SNP differences and differences that involve multiple nucleotides. There you go. Most of our genetic makeup is the same, dude. You know, I mean, what else we gotta do, Sean?
We'll come back in another couple of days and regurgitate all of this again because at some point they're gonna get it. It's sends my blood pressure, but what they'll get it sooner or later because we got people of all sorts come and run with us and listen to us on all of our different platforms, and they agree with us. They invite us to their platforms or their Facebook pages. They invite us because they know what we're talking about. So
Okay, well, until can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna keep it real. Until the person that they consider the expert gets his ass handed to him, they're not gonna listen. I'm just gonna keep it real with you.
yo, but it's crazy. D Red, we've been handing these dudes asses back to them. Real talk. If you watch some of, well, I know you
Yeah,
always watch,
but Sean,
some of the people that we go after
no.
got
Mhm.
within 2 days 170,000 views,
Yeah, but
150,000 views.
you're not going after. It's one person. The shoot know what I'm talking about. It's one person in particular that posits the same shit.
All right,
The
we'll put them on
shoot
the
kind of
table.
alluded to him
Let's go
earlier.
after them. Let's go after them.
You
I
know what I'm
want you there
saying?
too. Then you got to be there too.
You know what I'm saying? That's cool. I don't have no problem. You know what I'm saying? But because what happens, he comes over here and he half-ass agree with us, right? But then he gets on, he'll go to Garfield channel, he'll go to somebody else's channel, and then he'll shoot slugs at us. And be like, them niggas talking about the Hebrew, like he shoots slugs. So I'll be over there on these other people's channels. You know what I'm saying? So I see how he move when he here. He don't be wanting no smoke. But then he'll go over there. He'll be over here talking about, I like what you guys doing. You guys creating the methodology, man. I like what you guys doing. Then you get over there and shoot slugs. So what ends up happening, they don't come, most of the people like Shazan, they don't come over here. So they over there. So they listening to him and everybody talking about this particular person as the expert. This particular person knows everything. And he taught everybody genetics and wasn't nobody talking about genetics until him.
Oh, okay.
So what ends up happening, you see what I'm saying? So then what ends up happening is they not finna listen. No matter what Sean say, or no matter what the shoes say, no matter what you can be reading from. I was explaining to a nigga, we actually read from the books. We don't just read from articles. We read from the books too. They not hearing that because he's been deemed and pegged and crowned the expert in this particular thing, the person to go to on this particular subject. So until he get his ass washed, ain't nobody. You spit in the wind.
Yeah, but even if that particular person does get washed, they're still not going to agree with us. They're still, you know what I'm saying?
Some
We'll
won't.
talk about
Because
that.
it's
Some
shit like a
won't.
cult. This
Yeah,
shit like a cult.
that group is not going to agree with us. Even if this, you know what I'm saying, this person that you talk about, you know what I'm saying, does get washed. Well, however you want to put it. That group is going to move on to something else. They're gonna go silent. They're going to go dark on the subject for a long time until they'll find themselves another Messiah.
But see, but listen to what you said. They're gonna go dark, and once they go dark, who's gonna be the de facto expert?
According to them, they wouldn't care. They're gonna leave the subject alone
But
until they move on.
true, the true followers of said person, yeah. But you got a lot of people that's on the fence that don't know. You'd be surprised how many people that follow Yap Gang, learn, and change their perspective. I be in these groups, you know what I'm saying, these other platforms. I go to their channels and you'd be surprised how many people actually change their perspective by what we do. So don't poo poo on the fact that Yeah, will out of 10,000 people, with a whole 10,000 change their perspective? No, but out of that 10,000, 1,000 might, 500 might. You see what I'm saying? And
No,
that's
I
who you
get that.
speaking to. You speaking to that. You speaking to that 500 who might change, who on the fence, who don't know, who legitimately just don't know. You see what I'm saying? And so that's how I look at it, bro. That's why I go to these other channels because I understand there's
I know
people over there on these
you a
channels.
real you're a real migratory haplogroup motherfucker, yo, because you be traveling. You be on
Yeah,
everybody facts. You a migrant.
but you know why? Because I understand. Because I understand that the people that come to Yap Gang want to hear Yap Gang shit. But if I go to Garfield channel, guess what? They don't want to hear Yap Gang shit. You see what I'm saying? So who do I want to talk to? Do I want to talk to the Christ said I come here to heal the sick. The well don't need a doctor. The people that's over here that's already on the shit we own, listening to the shit we own, researching the shit we own, that's learning from the shit we talk about. I don't need to talk to them. I need to talk to these other motherfuckers who don't know what the shit we don't know we talking about. They want to dispute what we talking about. That have questions about what we talking about. That's where I need to go. I need to go to them because
Right, but
you know
we
what I'm saying. So
the whole thing is that the person that you're speaking about, we don't really have real because that person knows the work. You know what I'm saying? Like really knows the work. And to be honest with you, it's not him, it's not that particular person that's the problem. It's the people around him that lift him up. It's not him because we don't have no beef with him. Honestly.
yeah, but see see. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. The same that person, you think you don't have no problem with him because over here when he comes here, he's yeah, man, I like what you guys doing. I appreciate you do. But then he'll go to Garfield channel. He'll go to somebody else's channel and he'll shoot skates, shoot slugs, and whole scud missiles at motherfuckers. Them niggas talking about Hebrews and haplogroups dissing. That's what I'm trying to explain it to. This is why you getting the pushback. It's the
Yeah,
reason why Shot
I
Son,
never
like I know
heard
the brother.
I never heard him
I
as
have.
late
I've
for
been on
that
panels with
because I'm
him
not
doing
on
it.
channels. Right. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying because I don't, you know what I'm saying? We're not in the circles where we're hearing that. You know what I mean? So, but I'll leave it there.
So yeah. So what I'm saying is, this is why Shot Son give you the pushback. There's a reason he ain't giving pushback because he just trying to be a dick. Because that's a good brother. He give you pushback because you're like, nigga, that's not what such the experts say. You see what I'm saying?
That's how coach
So
work, though, D-Red. That's how coach
I
work.
agree.
That's not what
I
Nathaniel
understand that.
told me. That's not what Benaniah told me. We hear that all the time. They might worry about them, but what your ass gonna get over here? You can get a proper understanding and education of the topic. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why it's important for us to just read from the books and not do our interpretations and spins on the shit we read. Just read from the damn book. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Because you can't no argue with me. They can argue with the book. That's what the book say.
No, but they do argue with the books. The white man wrote that. You trust white. I've heard that 1,000 times a day, bro. And this is why I don't do the Israelite shit. Listen, I don't claim Israelite ancestry. None of that shit. I realize this. We want to talk this science talk, DNA talk, anything, any subject. Pick a field. Nobody wants to take out the time to learn a goddamn field. That's what I fucking learned. That's why I learned. Nobody want to learn a field. Nobody. Nobody want to invest in the material or invest the time in it because a lot of this shit free. I mean, most of the stuff I pulled up today, anybody can get on Family Tree, anybody can get on Wiki, anybody can get on Wiley Library and pull the same articles up. You know, these people are into sensationalism, bro, and that's what's gonna keep happening. What makes them feel good? What makes them? The minute I read the fuck from the book, my viewership drop. The minute I start going into sources, viewership gonna drop. Why?
That's a fact because
it's
it's a
not
heavy read.
sensational, bro.
Right. And it's a heavy read. It's something that people are not used to reading heavy. Like, I mean, like this is a heavy, this is weightlifting reading. Don't get me wrong. A lot of stuff that we did in the community early on, uh, reading about culture and things of that nature. Those no, this is a heavy read. Genetics is extremely heavy read. Moore said this to who is he? Who was it? Was Judah? What's the brother name? Judah Nazareth. That,
Yeah, do the
um,
nail.
right. It's an extremely heavy read, and people don't want to dig into it because it takes time. This takes up so much time that it will take away time from your other research that you're doing. It's not an easy read. If you're trying to learn genetics and you're still working on other things that you already probably know and read plenty of material on, you could leave that alone for a minute and just read for a solid year. Get into genetics from the basics up until haplogroups and autosomes, right? And then once you
Yeah.
get there, then you start reaching into the different.
Then you can't be tricked. You can't be tricked by
Right,
these charlatans on the internet trying to tell you
right.
that your fucking
Like the
fathers and your
Naya
mothers don't. They trying to tell you your fathers and your mothers don't matter. That's what they
matter,
telling you, bro. When they
right?
start saying don't look at
They
your
say your grandfather
haplogroup,
and your great grandfather
none of them
and your
matter.
great great
Fuck them.
grandfather,
Fuck
right,
them. I want to keep this black power shit going. I'm
right.
African and that's it. Fuck my lineage. That's basically what they're telling you. But if you will actually take out the time and take the sources, read and understand and grasp the shit, they're not gonna be able to trick you out of your fathers. Because this is the same dumb shit Judah Nazareth said, and he got kids by an Asian. Your kids are your fucking kids, no matter how Southeast Asian their autosomes are. This is how dumb this argument has become. That's why I can't hold back to pull no teeth. Pull no punches when I'm speaking on it. Because I can see the idiocy through the comments. I gotta address it that way.
Mhm. But even though, and I know where your frustration comes in, Yeshua, because it's after all the work that you put in for people to take it so lightly, it bothers you. I get it because it bothers me too. But these dudes, they don't want to delve deep into this because
And
it,
you
it
guys
goes
don't
against their
want to debate.
POV.
We
It goes
try to
against their
debate the
POV.
differences. Real quick, Sean, I'm getting passionate about this shit.
Mhm.
When we talk about differences in debating, nobody wants to debate the difference. They want to just disagree. I'm like, okay, well, let's debate and see where we line up academically. Nobody wants to fucking do that.
Right. Let's see where we do agree, and then the other points, we could, we could hash that out. But nobody wants. I get it.
No, nobody. They just want to say, "Oh yeah, this guy's wrong about this." Okay, let's test these ideas real quick.
Hmm.
You bring your autosomal shit, and I'm going to show people ancestry and teach them exactly what each test does.
Hmm.
Come on now. Nobody wants that because it's going against their doctrine. I'm telling you, they treat this shit as a sacrament. I said this in the beginning of the video. This is holy ground for them, and they don't want nobody to take it from them. Just like a
Yeah.
Black Hebrew Israelite with the Israelite label. They don't want nobody
Because
to take
they
that from
invested
them.
so much.
They
They
don't want
invested
nobody to
their
take
whole
the
life.
African label from them. That's semantics. It's just a goddamn label. Your parents are your parents. That's a biological fact. Your forefathers are your forefathers. It's a biological fact. Your foremothers are your foremothers. Biological fact. It has nothing to do with your damn ideology and how you feel about how black you are. That's
They
how
invest
dumb
so
this
much.
community is dumb.
They invest so much into Pan Africanism. They invest so much. Well, let's not even just. They just invest so much in their POV over years and convincing people and sounding smart to the people that they're expounding this stuff to. They've been doing it for so long to now have to correct yourself after you've changed thousands of people's minds on who they are and what they are. Now you, as the glorified teacher, like D Red said, you as the glorified teacher have to eat some humble pie. You refuse to do it because there's too many people that you've turned, too many minds that you've turned toward your POV or your point of view or your presupposition that now you got to go back and correct yourself in front of all these people. And now some of these people may have grown even further from what you've taught them. And now you're trying to convince them that, nope, I was wrong over here. So this is what it is. But they're listening to other people as well while they're listening to you. And I'm not saying you, Yeshua. I'm talking about how D-Red was saying it earlier. They're listening to their particular teacher. They've been listening to that particular teacher for so long. Now they're listening to other teachers. Now you, as their point teacher, is trying to steer them right again. They don't want to hear shit you got to say.
Right, because they're a bunch of racial dictators. And let's
Right.
talk about it. Look at my channel. You seen I was deeply entrenched in One West doctrine for the majority of
Mhm.
my tenure on YouTube. I changed and got out of that.
Mhm.
Anybody can fucking do it. That's why I leave my shit up there so it can be a testament to that. Go watch.
Mhm.
I got 1 million views collectively on YouTube. Most of that's coming from that pseudo mumbo jumbo, One West, 12 tribe chart bullshit that I was entrenched in.
Mhm.
You can come out of it. I did.
Mhm.
Right? So no, excuses are, you know what I'm saying. I like assholes. Everybody got one. We can come up with 1,000 excuses. You got to stop being so indolent and start researching for yourself and start reading and learning and grasping the information for yourself and stop depending on figureheads to be your brain and your mind and think for you.
Right. 100%. And this is why you don't have the followers that you used to have, because those people have moved on from your teachings and listened to other people, other figurehead teachers, and now they're so entrenched that they don't want to change. They're like, nah, that's bullshit. And so that might cause you as a person, not you, but a teacher with their human flaws to say, you know what, let me revert back to, because that's when I was loved. I was loved when I was teaching this. I was loved amongst my my peers. I was loved amongst them, my people, when I was teaching this. So let me go back to that. And others haven't even walked away and came back, like certain people, like Benaiah, like the big channels. You know what I'm saying? They will never walk away. They don't even want to touch that cold water after being hot for so long with their listeners. They don't want cold water thrown on them. They
Right,
don't
right.
want.
Look at the title of my video. The dude came in here on bullshit.
Mhm.
He made it a totality argument. No one ever said that, but you made the damn comment.
Mhm.
Some African American directly descends from Native Americans. You got a fucking problem with that sentence.
Mhm.
You got a problem with it. That's why you was in here doing what you was doing.
Mhm.
No, they all African, nigga. You's a racial dictator like fucking Adolf Hitler. That's what you are, man.
Mhm.
Pro-black this, pro-black that, but all your ideology stem back from white fucking races. All of it. Every bit of it.
Mhm.
Stop fucking playing.
And then they wonder why we get so frustrated and why we don't. It's not that we turned away from the Bible. We ain't turned away from the Bible. We don't speak it as much on the channel anymore because y'all want to take our work and pseudo the shit up. Excuse my language. You want to pseudo it up and then mix it into your doctrine and then mess up. And then not just mess up what we say, but then go on other platforms and said, well, the Yap Gang said this, that, and the third. And then now we got to come back and retract that and say, we never said that. We find one live, one video that we said this, that, and the third since we fought that day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, well, it is frustrating. So I get where the frustration comes from. We can't continue to do this in our community. We're trying to re-navigate the ship. Pirates have taken over the ship and we staring it. We staring it back over here. We're not.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You know.
you think your fucking cultural milieus are going to change biology? It is not. Just because you want
No.
to call yourself fucking black or call somebody, designate somebody fucking African, then that means that
Well,
erases everything
Aboriginal.
about
Yeah.
that means that erase everything about their ancestry. Get the fuck out of here. Some of us actually know a little bit better. And it's like when Christ, when he did the parable about eating the flesh and the blood, and he had a bunch of followers and they all left. And he looked at his 12 disciples. You gonna leave too? That's how it is. You can leave. I'm gonna continue pushing. Because this ain't no popularity contest for me, man. I'm actually trying to give a fresh glass of water to y'all because there's so many channels out here teaching bullshit. And I'm trying to give y'all a safe place to drink water, man.
A safe well to draw your water from. You can
Elijah
walk by
Muhammad
the
said,
well. You can walk by the well and not drink the water, or you can drink the water. It's up to you. A safe
Elijah
well.
Muhammad said, you put the clean glass of water next to the dirty glass of water, and you let the people choose.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's what we've
said
been
the
doing.
message
They
to the
keep
black
choosing
man.
the dirty glass, bro. They keep choosing the dirty glass. But that's all right. Because all of this, everything that we're doing, maybe 4 years from now, people will discover this channel. And we ain't even active no more like that. Not saying we wouldn't be, but we might not be active no more. And they discover this channel, or Evie's channel, or Moore's channel, or Yap Gang Scholarship channel. And they go, and all of a sudden the movement will start after, we're long gone. Or, you know what I mean? We're not putting out any more work. Listen, man. Hey, where's more? More disappeared? Where's more? Dropped off.
I think he left. I think more left.
Hey, yo, it's
So,
been a pleasure saying, who's that, more?
now go ahead, Sean. That was me. Go ahead.
No, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, D-Red, chopping it up with you on the channel, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I don't go lie that much, so I don't really have to come over here too much. But I try to, if I see y'all live, I try to come through and fuck with it.
Yeah,
Shit
between reading, studying, and real life, going to get that paper. You see, I'm at work on the Sabbath, so I know they already gonna say I'm a goddamn heathen. I'm an Israelite, but I'm
Look,
a
I tell
goddamn
niggas
heathen.
all the time, man, y'all ain't paying
Might as well get
no
my
bill
work.
in my fucking house. So don't
Yeah.
talk about what I do as far as work to pay those bills, man. Fuck out of here, man. That's another thing. You guys want to run people's rate. Look, y'all want to run people's genetics. If you're black, we gotta be what the fuck I want. You want to run their households. You want to do everything. But none of y'all ain't putting no dollars towards one bill. Something
You
wrong
want to
with
tell
y'all,
people who
man.
to marry?
Yeah, who you marry and shit. Y'all got that. Y'all got the game twisted, bro. You got it. Hey, a lot of you guys is Western European too. That'd be the crazy part. Y'all take y'all DNA to, and here's another thing. Before we get out here, Sean, I gotta say this too. I'm willing to sponsor, and I done said this before. I'm willing to sponsor your DNA test. I will pay for your DNA test. Give me your address. I'll ship it to you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to sponsor it for you too, so you can't use money as a way around it. Oh well, I don't know. I'll pay for your DNA test. We go ahead and get that data collected and figure out who you are and who you come from. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, I'm down with that too. But for me, there's a provision. There's a provision. The provision is you got to be one of our detractors or ops. You know what I mean? Or somebody- It got to be, you know what I'm saying?
Pat Casino, I will pay for your DNA test.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's a few people out there, you know what I'm saying, that I would be willing. And even if you got your DNA done already and you being secretive, I think like Benaya using autosomal, you might have European ancestry. I'll pay to take your raw DNA to have it put into a tool, one of the tools that will give us your Y chromosome, or you know what I'm saying. I'm down for it, but it has to be. It can't just be anybody. It's those who challenge us. So I'm down. I got half of that, bro. Whoever come to you, I got half.
Hey,
As
Battle
long as we
X,
follow the
Battle X,
criteria.
I will personally purchase your DNA test and mail it to you, brother. I know you
Yeah.
was on here earlier. I will pay for your
What's the
DNA
other
test.
brother? What's the other brother from Sakari? Deacon. What's his name? He
Oh
did his
yeah,
DNA.
Deacon. We'll pay Deacon. We'll sponsor you too. The Deacon.
Yes, Deacon.
Yeah,
Sponsor him. Who else?
we sponsoring DNA tests here, man.
Yeah. The
Hit my
track.
email, HebrewJedi@gmail.com. Again, that is HebrewJedi@gmail.com. And I will sponsor them brothers to get a DNA test. I will buy the DNA test myself and ship it to them.
Right. And all you got to do is swab, put it back in the package, put the label back on it. So it's not coming back to us. It's going straight to the DNA company already paid for. And then once it's done, the other part of this is once it's done, you got to come back on the channel, on one of our channels, and show us.
Share the results.
Right.
Yep, you got to share the results, man.
Got to share all the results.
Don't do the Gorilla Hebrew. Well, you actually ain't never seen my DNA. Don't be. We ain't doing that, bro.
And we ain't picking. You can't pick ancestry tests. That do strictly auditory.
Hey, they gonna. Which one don't get a haplogroups? Let me get that
Right.
one.
Exactly. We need companies that give up haplogroups. 23andMe. Excuse me. Sorry, just belched. Sorry. 23andMe, Family Tree. What's the genetic? What's the name of what's the other one that Evie had used as well? She. What's the name of that company?
I forgot it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he did took. Hey, look, y'all want to learn
Any
about
company
any
that give
DNA
up
test?
Y chromosome and mtDNA, maternal and paternal haplogroups, and your autosomal. They'll give everything. It won't just be any company that we choose is going to give everything. Y chromosome, maternal, and autosomes. And we can't see your results. Once you get the package, you log in, you make your own thing, you do what you got to do, your own login password, because we don't have access to that. We're just paying for it. But you have to come back. You have to come back and show us what's on the website, what's on, what your results are.
Right. We want the haters to keep watching because eventually this is gonna happen to your ass.
You. Yes, me. Me too.
Hey, Sean, with that being said, like the man on the screen, there are some African Americans that directly descend from Native Americans. Some of them are on the panel. I appreciate everybody that came out and shared their story, their history, and whatnot. Hey, it is what it is, no matter what they look like. Whatever the autosomal admixture is, Shasan, they directly descend from Native indigenous people, whether you like it or not, whether your racist redneck ways will accept it or not, whether your social milieu is accepting of that fact or not. There are Black Americans that are directly descendant of indigenous communities, like Sean, like my brother D Red, and like my brother Orthodox Moore. That's just a biological fact in reality. And that's the motherfucking deal, man.
Yeah. Yeah, drill.
Still 7 candlesticks up, and I've been telling you niggas ain't a debate. It's a stick up gang.
Grown ups, in between, churning babies. Right about now, it's your boy, you heard, back again. DJ Manny, fresh, fresh. Yeah, fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh. DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ. Yeah, with Weezy We. Step up to the mic, dude. Do what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is brought to you courtesy of the young man, Young Carter, and the great man, Manny Fresh. So what I want y'all out there to do for me is say this. Say go DJ,
cause that's my DJ.
say go DJ,
Cause that's my DJ.
say go DJ,
Cause that's my DJ.
say go DJ.
Cause that's my.
You heard of 101, the hottest nigga under the sun. I come from under the Tommy, bustin' a Tommy. You come from under your garment, your chest and your arm hit. Pow, one to the head. Now you know he did. Now you know I played like a pro in the game. Nah, better yet, a veteran, a Hall of Fame. I got that medicine, I'm better than all the names. A is Cash Money Records, man, a lawless gang. Put some water on the track, fresh for all this flame. Wear a helmet when you bang it, man, and guard your brain. Cause the flow is spasmodic, what they call insane. They ain't even my motherfucking aim. I get dope, boy. And you already know that pimpin'. 18, I'm living young and show that Bentley. Stun on my paw, so you know that's in me. Got in my mentor, so don't go there with me. Oh, DJ,
Cause that's my DJ.
say go DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
This is the car. DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
Say go DJ.
Cause that's my.
You niggas is hilarious. DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
This is the car. DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
Now put your binoculars
That's my
on.
DJ.
Try to see me. Let's go. And I move like the coupe through traffic. Rush hour GT bent, roof is absent. Your bitch present with the music blasting, and she keep asking how I shoot if it's plastic. I tell her you see if your boy run up. She sat back and cut the Carter back up for show. Hey Big Mike, they better step their authority up before they step to a soldier's son. I got army guns. You niggas never harming young. Fly Wizzy, my opponent's done. I'm done talking. And I ain't just begun. I've been running my city like Diddy, you chump. I fly by you in a foreign whip, on the throttle with a model bony bitch. Paraphony tits, her hair is long as shit to her thong and shit. Well, here we go, so hold on to this. Now let's go. Hold on, let me hit the blunt. So go. So go. This is the Carter. DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
That's my DJ. Manny Fresh.
That's my DJ.
That's my DJ. These niggas so mad at me right now. Fresh. Guess what?
Cause that's my.
Birdman, put them niggas in a trash can. Leave them outside of your door, I'm your trash man. I'm steady lighting up the hash and riding in my jag. You will need a gas mask, man. You snakes, stop hiding in the grass. Sooner or later I'll cut it, now the blades in your ass. You homo niggas getting A's in the ass, while the homie here tryna get paid in advance. I'm staying on my grizzy, I'm a bona fide hustler. Play me or play with me, then I'm gonna find your mother. Niggas wanna eat cause they ain't ate nothing, but niggas wanna leave when you say you out of mustard. So I'ma walk into the restaurant alone, leaving behind just residue and bones. In your residence with Rugers to your dome, like where the fuck you holding the coat? Holding your throat, choke. So go. So go. This. Y'all stay with me. This is the color DJ. And I'm a DJ. Manny Fresh, yes, that's my DJ. And it's the color DJ.
Cause that's my DJ.
Call me when you're fucking with me.